evening, everyone, and welcome to the January 8th, 2026 City Commission meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We're going to start with invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will turn to our City Attorney, Jen.
Thank you. As we begin this new year, let us begin this meeting by taking a brief moment of silence and reflection and keep the family of Fred Marquis in our thoughts. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Yeah, I would like to add about former County Administrator Fred Marquis that it was close, okay. He was County Administrator for a long time, made a big difference in the county, none the least of which was the mover and shaker for the Pinellas Trail, and of course the Pinellas Trail is named after him. And as fate would have it, our military advisory committee, 1 month ago, I think, pretty much to the day, recognized him by our Dunedin Museum. We had a plaque that the county did put up right by the museum. You should look at it as his full military outfit picture. Mr. Marquis was there. He was in a wheelchair. He was there with his family, but he was doing pretty good, and he spoke. And so very timely that we honored him before he passed on, but he made a big difference in Pinellas County, so we didn't want that to go unchecked. Okay, we'll go to our presentations, and our first one is Dunedin Celtic Festival and Highland Games updates, and we have our very own special, Eric McNeil. And Eric, you're going to, from the Dunedin Scottish Arts Foundation. Eric, you got all kind of good information for us?
Sure, yes. Do my best here. Good evening. My name is Eric McNeil. I'm the president of the Dunedin Scottish Arts Foundation. If you don't know, the Dunedin Scottish Arts Foundation is basically an organization that brings together the middle school pipe band, the high school pipe band, and the City of Dunedin pipe band to work together, pool resources, and present some world-class Celtic events in the community and fundraise through those events. We had our Celtic Music Festival on Saturday, November 22nd, I think it was, right before Thanksgiving, and we had a great day. We had crowds were strong, the weather was beautiful, and as a result, I'm very pleased to share that the board of the Dunedin Scottish Arts Foundation has made donations in the amount of $5,500 to each band program, the middle school band program, high school band program, and City of Dunedin pipe band, in addition to some other contributions to the New World Celts, the high school Navy Junior ROTC program, as well as contributing towards our instructional and scholarship programs within the DSAF. So it was a very successful day. We also just learned recently, and I'll share that we're pretty pleased to learn that about 1/3 of the people who attended the Celtic Music Festival traveled to Dunedin from over 20 miles away, which we thought was a pretty significant percentage for that event, and we're pretty pleased with that information. Next up is our Dunedin Highland Games and Festival, which is, I guess you could say, is definitely the flagship event for our organization. With the Easter holiday, the first weekend of April, we have pushed back by 1 week this year, so we will be on Saturday, April 11th, with the kickoff in downtown Dunedin on Friday evening, April 10th, as we have the last several years, which is always a lot of fun. We're pretty excited about that. That event has really become a total community-wide event with volunteers coming from businesses and multiple organizations throughout the community. We work with a lot of different vendors, all of whom are local, and we're pretty pleased with that. We started our marketing campaign right now for the Highland Games, and over the course of a year right now, the Dunedin Scottish Arts Foundation is investing just over $100,000 in marketing our events and the City of Dunedin all over North America. Ticket sales are already starting and rolling in, and so and the majority of that money is going to be spent over the next 3 months here gearing up for the game, so we're pretty excited about that. I'm very pleased to share with you tonight that the board of the Scottish Arts Foundation has nominated Mr. Mark Brandmeier to be the honorary chieftain of the day at this year's Highland Games. The honorary chieftain of the day is someone that we try to recognize for their ongoing and continuous support of our community and the programs and the Scottish arts in our community, and so I'm very pleased to share that this year's honorary chieftain is Mark Brandmeier. Last thing, I just shifting gears slightly and sharing some information and news about the City of Dunedin Pipe Band. We are busy gearing up for the 2026 season. The grade 4 band, along with the school band programs, is traveling next Saturday to the Orlando Highland Games to kick off the 2026 season. All the bands will be having a pub crawl fundraiser in downtown Dunedin on Saturday evening, February 7th. So I wanted to let you know that if you're out and about and would like to join us that evening, please do so. The grade 2 band is hard at work. We're gearing up to travel back over to Glasgow again this summer, and we are hoping to do our very best to improve on our second place finish last year. So you want to come out and support us that night, I'm sure we'll have a tune and you can hear how things are coming along. And that's all I got. Thank you very much.
So, Eric, I have to tell you a funny story. I got asked to officiate a wedding at the Fenway in April, and they picked their date around my schedule. And I said, whatever you do, just don't go with the first weekend of April. So they went with the second weekend of April. And then we realized that, luckily, they're getting married on Friday night, so perfect. I'll miss the parade. But anyway, and a good choice, I think, on the master, or the, what do you call the?
Honorary chieftain.
Honorary chieftain. And as the Scottish liaison, do you have anything to say?
Always have something to say.
I knew you did about Scottish stuff. We appreciate all you do. You know that, Eric.
Yeah, just real quickly, also, Eric is very humble. And just want to let you know that not only is he president of the Scottish Arts Foundation, but he's also the drumming director for all of our pipe bands in the city of Dunedin, and the middle school, high school, and city pipe band. So he works very hard. And so when it is always the band as a group that wins these, but within those bands you have individuals, right? It's made up of individuals, and so a large part of that is our drumming corps. So thank you, Eric, for everything you do for the drummers in our community. Traveling to Central Florida, who was going?
The school bands are going, and the city grade 4 band.
Middle school and high school?
Yes, sir.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Good. And lastly, Mark Brandmeier. I cannot speak any more highly of your choice. That I don't know how many of you all might know Mark, but he is just a huge supporter for our Scottish arts. Raised 2 daughters in the Scottish arts community. Both of them were pipers, and he was a drummer. So it's always cool when you get to see families participating in the same band. So it's wonderful. So thank you. It's well-deserved for Mark. So congratulations, Mark. Well done. And I've also talked with Mark, and he's one of those people that he's very humble, but he is more proud to wear that title. That is, he is expecting a key to the city, and he just thinks he's hot spit. But so thank you, Eric, for everything you do. Well done.
Thank you.
And we'll have our kilts on again for the event. Count on it, now that we all have them. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, our next item is Dunedin Celebrates Diversity 2026. I'm going to have Commissioner Gao. He'll be reading and presenting proclamation. And I think Emily Hoban and Shiloh Baptist Church. I'll turn it over to Jeff.
All right, fantastic. Come on up, guys. Sorry. Dunedin is so proud about so many things, and deservedly so. But I think one of the best characters or attributes of the city of Dunedin really is our diversity. And we are so accepting of everybody. We're always glad you're just here. And so welcome to Dunedin. And so the idea that we are celebrating diversity is just a really proud proclamation. So if I may, I read this. Dunedin celebrates diversity 2026. a community united, many paths, one destination. Whereas we live in a world comprised of individuals from many different cultures and backgrounds, and believe that all people are equal and each person unique and valuable. And whereas we respect, accept, appreciate, celebrate, and embrace diversity. And whereas we share an individual and collective, moral and ethical responsibility to create a community free from discrimination and prejudice. And whereas our community will celebrate Diversity 2026 with a kickoff event to commemorate the birthday and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Saturday, January 17th, 2026, followed by many ethnic and cultural events conducted in Dunedin throughout the year, in alignment with Unite Dunedin, an initiative to unite neighbors in thoughtfulness and empathy. And whereas this initiative strives to cultivate and sustain a collective and diversified community that values social justice, unity, shared responsibility, mutual respect, and environmental justice by putting into action positive changes in the City of Dunedin workforce and our community to achieve equality of outcomes and collaboration between employees and residents to accept and create a harmonious environment. Now therefore I, Jeff Gow, by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Mayor of the City of Dunedin, and on behalf of this entire City Commission, do hereby proclaim Dunedin Celebrates Diversity 2026, a year-long celebration to acknowledge that we are a community united and with many paths but one destination, and encourage all residents to participate in our year-long ethnic events, starting with the celebration of the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Mardi Gras, St. Patrick's Day, the Highland Games, Cinco de Mayo, Dunedin Pride, Our Lady of Lourdes Fall Festival, Dia de los Muertos, Celtic Festival, Hanukkah, Piper in the Park, and the United Faith Walk of Peace. So thank you very much. We got a lot going on.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Again, coming up next Saturday, January 17th, the Dunedin Parks and Recreation Department, in partnership with the library and Shiloh Baptist Church, will host the kickoff event of Dunedin's 2026 Celebration of Diversity. The Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Breakfast in March will be held at the MLK Recreation Center, with breakfast beginning at 8:30 a.m. The event will feature keynote speaker Christina Garcia, Executive Director of Dunedin Cares, along with entertainment and readings of winning student essays on the subject, How Can I Help the World Be More Unified? This year, in the spirit of community and support of Dunedin Cares, attendees are encouraged to bring donations of canned food items to the event for the food pantry. After we've enjoyed breakfast, we'll march to Pioneer Park, where we will enjoy entertainment from the Shiloh Baptist Church. And as a reminder, this event is free and all are welcome to attend. I hope to see a spectacular turnout as we continue to honor and celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'd also like to recognize the work of Reverend Clem Bell, who could not be here this evening, but is such a huge part in making this event so successful. It is my pleasure tonight to accept the proclamation with Regina Lawrence from the Shiloh Baptist Church.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity, and it is an honor and I'm proudly stand here tonight because I was one of the original members of the establishment of this one committee, and it's still going on. And thank you for your dedication and for your support that you have given us on behalf of our pastor, Reverend Clem Bell, and the Shiloh Baptist Church. Thank you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Thank you, Regina. Okay, our next item is presentation of the 2025 Operation Twinkle winners. This is very, very important stuff here. Trevor Davis, come on down.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney, and City Clerk. My name is Trevor Davis. I'm with the Economic Development and Housing Department for the City of Dunedin, which we know as the Pearl of Pinellas and the pride of the state of Florida. I'm here tonight to talk about a Dunedin tradition that is near and dear to all of our hearts. And that tradition is
You got me a little scared, Trevor.
This is awesome.
There we go.
Operation Twinkle.
Nice.
And to present the 2025 Operation Twinkle First Place Awards tonight. For those who are unaware of Operation Twinkle, it's a holiday lamppost decorating contest, and it's held every year in Dunedin. Dozens of lampposts are adopted, decorated by local merchants and organizations. The decorated poles are judged in a fair and competitive manner. This was a great year for carrying on Operation Twinkle tradition of 20-plus years. We had 39 participants who put forth the time and effort to make our downtown glow and put the holiday spirit in the hearts of many. Our thanks goes out to all those who participated, and we look forward to their participation next year. I'd like to tell you a little story that happened just about a year ago now. I was downtown and I saw a lady photographing all of our decorative posts. And I went up to her and I said, I guess you like the decorations. And she said, oh, they're beautiful and they're colorful and there's so many of them. And I explained Operation Twinkle to her. So she said to me, would you mind if I take Operation Twinkle back to my hometown in Ohio? I said, go ahead. So hopefully this year, Operation Twinkle is alive and well in Ohio. Once again, Dunedin sets the standard for others to follow. Hats off to the judges who judge and does diligent work. They take notes, they take photographs, and then what they do is they compare. Choosing the winners is not an easy job, but they do it. With that said, let's begin the awards for 2025. Our first category is the business category. And the business category winners, and yes, I said winners, there was a tie. Commissioner Dugard, would you please present business category to Drip Tide Wellness and the Root Agency? Come on up.
On behalf of the Root Agency, thank you for hosting this tradition every year. We're happy to be part of the tradition for the second time. And on behalf of my team, just want to say thank you for the recognition, and my neighbors who chipped in and got in the holiday spirit as well. And so just happy to be part of the business community in Dunedin and to help philanthropy continue to take root and grow.
Follow that. Wasn't prepared. We're nurses, so for us, we don't usually speak in front of people. We like to heal people. Yeah. But yeah, you can do your pulse. No emergencies tonight. We're off duty. But my name's Kristen. I'm the owner of Drip Tide Wellness. This is Megan. She's the manager of our Dunedin location. we're just so blessed to be here. We're blessed to be in all these beautiful towns. We're in Safety Harbor as well. And we call these places home. So this is a huge honor to us and a huge award that we can't wait to take back to all the hardworking individuals that make everything tick for us. So do you have anything that you want to say?
I want to thank Terry Rodemeyer. She's the one who decorated the pole for us, and she put so much heart and soul into it. She actually has a pole at home that is the perfect measurement. She decorates it at home first and then brings it and redecorates so that it's perfect. So big thank you to her for making it perfect for us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the honor.
My pleasure. Thank you. The next category to be awarded is Youth Group category. Commissioner Sandbergen, I know that the first place winner will be near and dear to your heart. Would you present the 2025 Youth Group Award to the Greater Dunedin Little League?
Well, Megan, I didn't want you to go too far. You know, I look around this room, 3 old Dunedin Little League presidents.
Oh, yeah?
Lori, Megan, and myself.
Awesome.
We know the hours, we know the time, we know the commitment, and that looked really good down by Victoria Place. You guys did a nice job, so congratulations for winning and everything you do for those youth of Dunedin. Thank you, Megan.
Give her the ribbon.
Yeah, I got the ribbon. And you want to come and give it? Yeah.
Forget to get the ribbon.
Thank you. So this is, thank you. I'm pretty sure that this is the 4th year that we've won first place, and I have them hanging in the boardroom at the Little League.
That's awesome.
And it means so much. We plan it. We're planning next year's already because other people want to get involved, but I have a really hard time letting go of things. So I'm going to try to let others help me next year. She's helped along, and we love doing it, and we love the way the city looks. So again, thank you.
The next category to be honored is the church category. Once again, there was a tie. Commissioner Gao, would you be so kind to present the 2025 Church Award to Dunedin Assembly of God and First United Church, Methodist Church of Dunedin? Come on down.
She's with me. I don't know, I guess nobody's here with.
Oh, okay. I'll get it to them. Come up and say something.
Hi, my name is Leslie Goodell. I'm actually the youth pastor at First United Methodist Church, but I also have a small group who it's called Creative Spirit, and we designed and made the little angels that are flying on our posts. So, and Linda is part of that group, so I begged her to come up here with me. But we love doing it, and we're going to start thinking about next year so we can change it up. We've done angels for 2 years, so we'll get something new up there next year. So we really like it. But thank you.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next category to receive an award is the restaurant category, and this was very difficult. Everybody did a great job. Vice Mayor Walker, would you please award the 2025 restaurant winner, first place, to Pisces Global Bistro?
Okay, I was not expecting to speak, but I saw everybody speaking, so I'm going to. It took me 8 years to win this. All right. 8 years. So I have a lot of first and second, no, I'm sorry, not first, second and third, okay, But oh my God, I work so hard. And my husband always says that I'm going to die putting the pole together because I reach all the way to the top, and it's only me because I don't want to be responsible for any of my employees getting hurt. So, but I do look forward to it. I mean, this is probably one of the best things that I do throughout the year. It's so much fun, and it's a lot, so much, enjoyable in my heart to just put it together in my house where glitter is flying everywhere. So thank you so much, and definitely let's keep this going, and I look forward to doing it next year. Thank you. Oh my God, I did it!
Next category to be honored is civic organization. This is always a tough one. So many wonderful decorations. Vice Mayor Walker, please award the 2025 Civic Organization category to Windglasses.
All right, thank you. So this is Suki Mueller. She is our creative genius. This is Deb Schnedler, and I am Lynn Kondracki. We are one of the many members of the Windglasses. Deborah and I would work.
Can you speak in the microphone, please?
If you could speak into the mic, everybody out watching television can see you and streaming. So you really need to speak into the mic because they can't hear you then.
Speak into the mic.
Yeah.
So we are very honored to be able to participate in this annual tradition. It is so much fun, not only to do this, but then to go down and see all of the other lamp poles that are decorated, and of course, scope out our competition. So I think this is, we're kind of the newest group that's been taking over this chore for the Windglasses, and we've been working 4 years to get there.
Yes.
So we are honored, and you know what? We're already planning next year.
That's awesome.
All right. Oh, and this will go and hang in the Dunedin Community Sailing Center,
That's awesome.
AKA the Pram Shed. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
This year, the judges wanted to put forth a new category called Holiday Spirit. They wanted to see a pole that emblemized the Dunedin holiday spirit. And Mayor Freeney, would you be so kind as to present this new Holiday Spirit Award to the Dunedin Chamber of Commerce?
Okay. Thank you. I wanted to bring my volunteers. I'm missing 2 of them, but these ladies are so committed, and they start this months and months and months ahead of time, literally piecing everything together. The elves were literally made from paper mache to painted. I mean, they were just amazing, and couldn't have done it without them. So thank you, and thank you all for doing this great tradition, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We're going to get a group picture when it's all done. Okay, we have one more, right?
Okay. And now the overall trophy winner. Mayor Freeney, would you please present the overall trophy? Beautiful trophy. And the beautiful trophy, overall 2025, goes to Windglasses.
General meeting that we have throughout the year. We have 4 of them. So this will be there. And every other function, awards ceremony, this will be our main decoration. For those who don't know, Windglasses is a sailing organization for women, by women. We meet every Thursday over at the
Dunedin Sailing Center at the marina. If you know how to sail and you're a woman, you're welcome to come down. We have our new member coffee in August, so if you're interested in joining us, keep an eye out. But we have a lot of world-class sailors, but you don't need to be one of those. You just need to know how to swim and right your boat when you capsize. Thank you so much to all the judges.
Okay, we're going to get everybody up here for a picture. Everybody up for a picture. All the winners.
All the winners, come on up.
That was brilliant. I love it.
Very no experience.
No, that was brilliant. That's great. That's great. All right. All right.
We can tell. That's awesome.
All right. We're gonna have.
No, it is all ladies. What's going on here?
Okay. All right. I'm gonna make sure we get. Okay, great. Yes.
Oh, we're getting up? Okay, we're getting up.
Right. I know.
You want us up or down, Sue? We're down? Okay. Keep us out of it. We'll duck.
Mayor, can I ask Trevor a question?
Yeah, sure.
Trevor, I got a question for you, a couple questions. Are there any light posts downtown that go undecorated?
I'm sorry, give me that again?
Are there any light posts that go undecorated?
Yes.
So a call out to all of our nonprofits and organizations and church communities, faith communities, schools.
Come on down.
Come on down.
Come on down.
Wonderful.
I'd love to talk to you.
Well, the beauty of that, of course, is that we pay for the ones we pay per pole
Yes.
if they're not decorated. And it's so much more fun if they are decorated than just a green garland and lights. So it's not just a great spirit thing to do, it saves the city money. And we need that.
Oh.
So that's
And
good.
it is a tight budget year, so.
Yeah.
And here's the trivia. Does anybody know who named it Operation Twinkle?
Vince?
Peg Cummings.
Peg, no.
Yes, she did.
Thank you, Peg.
Yeah, anyway, little history.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. This was exciting. Okay, we are going to go to, you know what's so nice about that as they leave? I mean, look at the joy that brings. I mean, that is so Dunedin. I love it. And our downtown was amazing this year, I thought. Downtown, the Causeway, Edgewater, the tree in front of City Hall. I mean, it's exciting. It's important, and we get a lot of great feedback on it. And big thanks to Trevor. So citizen input. Does anyone in the audience wish to speak on a topic that is not on the agenda? And this would be your time to come forward. Okay, come on down. Name and address for the record.
Here I am again.
That's okay.
My name is Jim Calger. I live at 2092 Valley Drive, Dunedin. And congratulations to all the winners. I think that's fantastic. Great job. My situation has not improved. As a matter of fact, it's getting a little bit worse. Cedar Creek runs behind my house. We're all familiar with it. I understand that the city got a grant for that project. I'm just wondering how much of a grant that the city got, and when is the work going to proceed, and where? That's my only questions.
Yeah, I mean, when you're done, and we'll answer it after we've gotten all citizen input.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak on an item that is not on the agenda tonight? Okay, seeing none, City Manager, I'll turn to you. I think Jim's question was about the grant that had to do with that area, how much it was for and when it might start. Are you able to answer those questions, or?
Have Clay come up.
I can speak, again, Clayton Watkins, Utilities and Engineering. I can speak a little bit on it. I don't have all the justification since Public Works is handling most of that. But if it's referring to the item in which we brought in forward of you for the grant where we were able to get debris removal, that has started they have started at like in Curlew Creek and started at least from the golf course and worked their way upstream. They're sort of cross County Road 1. Then they went back and started on like around 580 and started working north along through Stevens Creek. So that is still ongoing. I'm not sure. I think they probably got another month or so to go. And the total award in the grant was for $4.2 million. That included some gabing repair on Stevenson's Creek around the Solon Park area that one included. Along Solon Street. So that's the update I can tell you with.
Okay. Is there, are people being kept informed as this project moves along if it affects property by them?
It is my understanding that they were supposed to go, the contractor would be doing at least door hangers when they would know they would be in their neighborhood.
Okay, got it. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
Nothing
to that?
further.
Okay. Yeah, we can't go back and forth, Jim, but if somebody could get a hold with Jim, if there's any follow-ups, that'd be great. I know we have your information. So, thank you. Yep, thank you very much, so appreciate it. Okay, we're going to go to the consent agenda. So we're going to start with, I'll just read through them. Approval of the minutes for the 11/20/25 regular meeting. 2B is board and committee appointments. We have Architecture Review Committee. I guess this is a correction from something that we did on the 18th, so it's just reappointing Christopher to an alternate term rather than regular term, ending in 12/31/2028. And then we have Board of Finance appointments. And then we go to 2C, award a piggyback agreement for the rehabilitation of 24 sanitary sewer manholes to Rolland LLC in the amount of $79,880. 2D, award the refurbishment of the wastewater treatment facility, coarse and fine bar screens to Hydrodyne Engineering, Inc. in the amount of $144,079.71. Are there any of those items that anyone wishes to pull?
I'd like to pull 2C, Mayor.
2C, okay,
Just
that's
questions.
sanitary sewer, okay. So anything else to be pulled? Okay, could I have a motion for the rest of the,
So moved. Second.
okay. Okay, would anyone in the public wish to speak on any of those issues that we're about ready to approve? Seeing no one coming forward, I'll close public input, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we'll go back to item 2C, award of piggyback agreement for the rehabilitation of 24 sanitary sewer manholes. Do you have some questions, or you want a full?
No, I just had just a few clarifications,
Okay, great.
unless you want to spend the night talking about manholes.
We can.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody else does. Yeah. Lost my train. Replacements or rehabs? Are they? What are we doing with those?
This is rehabilitation. So some of our manholes are pretty old, and they're actually brick structures. So as our crews go through and TV the crew, they also inspect the manholes. They look for is there's infiltration, and makes most of these where we're looking for. So the groundwater infiltration. So this is sort of a liner that will encapsulate that and keep that from infiltration from coming in. We also look at the manhole rims and covers to make sure they're structurally sound, sort of as we go through the process, and then this company comes in and they do the repairs for us.
Did we pick up the potential damage? Correct me if I'm wrong, but do we have some of our vehicles that have cameras that were designed to notice if there was damage? Is that where this was picked up?
That's a separate program, and that's the pavement management program. trying to remember if it's cameras or just
So
motion detection.
we have a CCTV truck also.
Yeah, this is separate. This is picked up by our collections crews that are out there running the TV truck and cleaning and inspecting, and they cover the entire collection area. And as they go in to do the collection areas, they inspect the manholes that they get access to. And then each year, we prioritize the most needing to be rehabilitated manholes and do this on an ongoing program.
Good. That's all I had. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions about it? I mean, since we started, I'll ask one. They all seem to be kind of around the water, along the coastline. Is there a reason for that? Just a fluke, or are they just, do they get damaged quicker? Or?
Well, after last year's hurricanes, we're really focusing on those areas where, so we don't have the inflow and infiltration that gets into the sanitary sewer system during, either tidal events
So in a sense, it is related,
or flooding or whatever. So
yeah, that's kind of what I wondered.
We are focusing in those areas after the previous year's hurricanes.
Which makes sense. That's what I wondered. I wanted to clarify. Okay, thank you. So I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. And I need to ask, is there anyone in the public that wishes to speak on this issue? This would be your time to come forward and talk about manholes. Come on. Okay. Seeing none. No one's rushing to talk about manholes. I'll ask all in favor.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we go to our action items. This is first reading of ordinance 25-11 regarding Dunedin Sustainability Matrix and Sustainable Development Scorecard Ordinance, amending Chapter 105, Section 28.4 of the Land Development Code, something I know the FAST group doesn't care at all about. It's good to see y'all here tonight. Jen, could you please read ordinance 25-11 by title only?
Ordinance 25-11, an ordinance of the City of Dunedin, Florida, amending the City of Dunedin Land Development Code to amend each subsection of Section 105-28.4 Sustainability to provide for a sustainable development scorecard and exemptions thereto as an alternate to the existing sustainability matrix, and correcting grammatical errors, providing for applicability and severability, providing for conflict, providing for codification, providing for an effective date. That was ordinance 25-11, read by title only.
Great. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Vice Mayor and Commissioner Dugard, and we'll go to staff presentation. Natalie, you're on.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Natalie Gass, Sustainability Program Manager for the City of Dunedin. I'm having trouble getting my presentation to show up on the screen. I don't know if...
We can see it on
We're seeing it on ours, but
Okay.
you wanted to be in
It looks
here.
like it's coming up. I just want to
There
make
you
sure
go.
everyone
Okay,
could
good.
see it. Okay, great. So again, this is the Sustainability Matrix update, where we are looking at, this is a requirement of design review for all design review developments. And the background of this is really started in 2016. It was amended in 2019, looking at improving the points. And then we have more recently come forward with City Commission in October to provide a informational workshop on what we were planning to do. And now we are in that official hearing stage. So it was approved by the local planning agency last month on December 10th and is now before you at first reading. The purpose of updating the sustainability matrix is really to weigh the points correctly, to clarify strategies, add new sustainability strategies for developers to utilize in their projects, and then also to outline the phases of the process and provide information on how you correctly submit all of the documentation. And then finally, we wanted to provide for an exemption, and that is spelled out a little bit more thoroughly in the next slides. So the original intention when we were working on updating this was to provide one consolidated sustainability matrix update. The regulations with Senate Bill 180 don't really allow us to do that. So our solution is to keep the existing sustainability matrix and then provide for a second and alternative sustainable development scorecard that developers can choose from. Looking at those two different paths, so a project can pick the current and existing sustainability matrix. It stays the same, the points, the minimums, and then, or they can pick the sustainable development scorecard that has a lot more new strategies. There's great incentives in doing that. It has a higher point range, and then it also has that higher point minimum. So it's showcasing a lot of the different strategies that they're incorporating into their projects. We've added 20 new strategies into the new scorecard, and those are showcased in each category and really highlight a lot of the new ways that you can incorporate sustainability, and a great update from the 2019 version of the document. We also wanted to provide for an exemption, and that is any project that is going for a third-party certification such as LEED, Florida Green Building Coalition, Fitwel, FGBC, or Green Globes. They can submit all of their work that they're doing through that, and then it will be reviewed and approved through city staff, our sustainability team, and we would ensure that it complies, and then they would not have to do a sustainability matrix or a scorecard because they're already going above and beyond what we would be requiring of them. The new proposed scorecard has been reviewed by many, internally and externally. So internally, we had teams reviewing it from our sustainability team, as well as Public Works, Community Development, Engineering, and Parks and Recreation. Externally, we've had the Committee on Environmental Quality and Sustainability review it, Faith and Action for Strength Together, or FAST, the Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority, as well as local developers and builders in our area. I did provide the feedback that we received from the three developers and builders in our area. I'm not going to read this word for word, but this developer just basically said, thank you for allowing us to provide feedback, and they were appreciative that the 500-point minimum is something that is achievable. They ran one of their current projects through this new scorecard as an exercise, and they were able to achieve over 800 points. So they thought, they were just saying how it's a very feasible scorecard. The next feedback we received, again, appreciative of the opportunity to provide feedback, and then saying that the 500-point minimum is achievable, and also providing recommendations that it may be helpful to see different examples of different sizes of development and what some of those strategies would look like. The final feedback we received really was kind of just mentioning that they didn't have enough information about their own project to look at the new scorecard through that lens, and they were looking at meeting with their team and then getting back with me. The two additional programs that we would like to consider as additions to the new proposed scorecard is to develop different levels of certification. So we're really wanting to encourage developers and projects to go above the minimum. And by doing that, we can recognize and provide awards, and whether that's through social media or a city commission meeting. And then the other item is looking at long-term sustainability of these strategies. Instead of just focusing on a checklist being completed at the time of construction, how can we educate property managers and property owners how to maintain and upkeep all of these different environmental sustainability strategies on their property for the long term, so they get the life out of these different strategies. And that would be an additional program that would come alongside this. Next steps would be pending the discussion this evening, a second reading scheduled for February 5th. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions for staff? Start with Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. So really, we've really gone through this and really in depth, and but I do have the. So how do those additional programs? How do those get implemented exactly?
So I haven't started working on either of them because it would be dependent on this new proposed scorecard moving forward and getting approved. Do you have specific questions around either one, or?
I'm just kind of curious as to, who does it apply to? Does it apply to the developer? How does that work?
Okay, so that first program that I mentioned of the certification, that would be really more for the project team, and the building and site itself could be awarded a sustainability matrix gold star or whatever we decide that we want our awards to look like. But basically, if you're going above and beyond the minimum, how can we incentivize that as a community? And then the second piece would focus on the property manager or the property owner, whoever's taking care of the property long term. And so that might look like staff going out and visiting the property once a year, providing education about the specific solutions that they have on their site, what they are, how they work, how you maintain them. We would just need to build that out, and I don't have all the details yet, but that's kind of the vision for those two programs.
No, I get that. And basically, it's objective focused for both the developer and the property owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's incentivizing and educational.
Okay, perfect. Nope, thank you. No further questions.
Okay, Commissioner Sandberg, questions?
Is this mandatory to all new developments?
So
Regardless of
any
size.
developments that trigger design review have a list of things that they are required to do. The sustainability piece is one of those requirements. So sustainability is a requirement of, I would say, larger scale development. There's triggers once you get to a large scale. It is a requirement, but they'll have the option to choose the existing sustainability matrix or the new scorecard. So although it is a requirement, they have options. And then within the path that they choose, there's, I call it like a menu of strategies that they can select from.
Okay.
Yes.
So there would be two. We'd have two in place, is that correct?
So there's two pathways,
Right.
and they'll have to pick one and follow it through.
Mayor, may I?
Oh, I'm sure. Sure.
May I?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So it was originally drafted with one pathway. It's a land development code amendment drafted with one pathway. And I certainly will not speak for the city attorney, but the city attorney was, so I will. The city attorney was concerned that we would run afoul of Senate Bill 180, which mandates that we can't be any more restrictive. And so Natalie and our city attorney came up with having two options so you're not more restrictive.
And is this for new construction only?
So it's new construction or redevelopment, anything that's triggering design review.
Okay, okay. That's all I had, Mayor.
Okay, Commissioner Gao.
Thank you. I actually only have one question, Natalie. And it's reference to Senate Bill 180. Or just, before that was passed, have we had, how many of our developers were having a hard time meeting those standards?
I mean, they're not having a hard time, it's a requirement, so they have to submit their matrix and their documentation. I don't know how to describe or define like a hard time.
Yeah. Well, I'm just
for developers.
I'm just trying to
achieving that.
understand Senate Bill 180.
Okay.
And it sounds like the developers were finding it a hindrance. And so if we wanted to change, and I find people who have a problem with trying to give us a better world, I have a hard time with that. So I have a hard time with 180.
So Senate Bill 180 focuses, it's not, just to be clear for everyone, it's not saying that the sustainability matrix is challenging. It's saying that they were basically looking at communities impacted by hurricanes and wanting communities to be able to build back quickly. You run into the challenge of building back quickly versus building back more resilient, stronger.
Okay.
So there is a Senate Bill 840, and that is looking at clarifying Senate Bill 180, but it does not have a House companion, and so we're just going to have to see what moves forward in this legislative
At
season.
our legislative breakfast, Senator DeSigley said it's going to change. Like he's the one that pushed it to begin with, and he understands it went a little too far. Is that a good description for you guys understood too? Commissioner DeGard was there as well.
And I'll reserve anything else for comments, but thank you for the clarifying the intent of 180.
City Manager, did you want to add something?
Yes, so just on that subject, we do understand there's a clarifying bill. We anticipate that that bill will, in some way, address some of the issues that we have with Senate Bill 180. We're not sure how. We're not sure how long it will take, so we're recommending that you adopt this at first reading, get it in the books, and then we can come back and address that later.
Right, good clarification. Thank you, City Manager. Okay, Commissioner DeGard, questions?
Yeah. First of all, we had the matrix and now we got a scorecard. We got both of them. They're going to be sustained for a period of time. How much time do we expect to have a dual system?
As long as, until there would be a clarification about Senate Bill 180, that would allow us to have one
Okay.
unified, updated.
Is that our hope?
That is the goal.
Okay.
Which
Yes.
would be the scorecard.
Yes, which
And
would be the
removing
scorecard.
scorecard away from the matrix. Sounds like a movie title. Okay, I'm going to pass from this point on. I'll get into comments. Thank you, Mayor.
I don't really have any questions. I mean, obviously, the trigger is the above 4 units.
So for residential, it's 5 or more units, and commercial, it's 6,000 square feet or larger. I know there's other requirements, but I don't have them memorized. It's anything requiring design review.
Okay. All right, I'll leave that one alone for now. First things first. Okay, so now I will go to opening up for public input. Does anyone in the audience wish to come forward and speak on this issue? Name and address for the record in 3 minutes, and welcome. Getting up here twice tonight.
I know. Must be a record. Good evening. I'm Linda Mifsud. I'm with First United Methodist Church of Dunedin at 410 Main Street. We're a member of FAST, Faith and Action and Strength Together. And we have a few of our friends with us tonight. Our issue started with house meetings where water quality issues were identified. And over a period of a few years, we had developed an approach and worked with the City of Dunedin to come up with a sustainability matrix to include green stormwater infrastructure measures in your development reviews. And we are so appreciative, and we commend you all for taking a leadership role within Pinellas County with this thoughtful update to the sustainability matrix, now a sustainability scorecard. We hope that other cities will take note and introduce similar approaches. We thank the Commission for honoring your commitment, Mayor Freeney, Commissioner Walker. We really appreciate your following through, because it would have been easy to say, well, let's not do it right now. But I am glad that you are proceeding with this. A lot of work went into this. We really are hoping that this two-pronged approach gets straightened out once the legislation moves forward and sanity returns and you are restored your home rule constitutional rights once again. So we appreciate Natalie Gass and all the hard work that she put into this update and all of the other departments within the City of Dunedin. The proposed education program that she's suggesting with the follow-up actions is very thorough, and I think it will be very effective to ensure the success of projects that go forward with some of these measures. We look forward to moving forward with you all to finish the job by going to a single scorecard as soon as possible, and hopefully it will happen this session. It looks somewhat promising, but all the pieces are not there yet. But We are very, very glad that this is moving forward. We think that you have a wonderful approach in working with your developer reviews. And we understand that February 5th will be the second reading and final vote, I believe.
Yes.
And we will see you then. And in the meantime, we look forward to having this state issue resolved, and we'll be back again once we go back to get the one scorecard approved. Thank you all.
Thank you for your hard work and support. We really appreciate all of you guys. Thank you. And I'm so proud that the churches are taking this kind of an issue on. It's so important because there's so many people involved in the churches, and you get that kind of support. People realize the importance of something that a lot of people just don't think is important, but it's very important. So, okay, anyone else wish to come forward and speak on this issue? Nobody from environmental quality? Okay. Okay. Would you like to come forward and say anything on the issue? Okay. Name and address for the record in 3 minutes. Thought you might.
Good evening. Mary Schoonover, 35 Edgewater Drive, Dunedin. I was a member of the CEQS.
That's good enough for me.
Good enough.
That's good enough for me.
And I will not be here for the last reading, and so I wanted to come to the first reading to make sure that you understand that I think that the process that you have followed, both, getting the input from the internal and external folks is very important. Having additionally sought the input from FAST, from the developers, it seems like all the bases are covered, and we really appreciate that as being residents of Dunedin. Dunedin is a wonderful place to live, and because it enjoys such a good reputation, it's an incumbent upon us to stand for home rule. And if we feel that it's necessary to adjust certain things in order for us to keep our environment beautiful and livable and everything going the way it should, thank you very much for what you're doing. We appreciate it.
Thank you. And I wish I had the courage to do my hair like that. To say
Go for it.
All right. Anyone else wish to come forward and speak on this issue? Okay, seeing no one, I will close public input, and I will go to commission comments, starting with the maker of the motion, Vice Mayor Walker.
Thank you, Mayor. This it really is remarkable in how much feedback and input went into this plan, and if in terms of developing, something like this, that's a very important thing. I mean, the Committee on Environmental Quality, FAST, Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority, and a very important piece to this is obviously feedback from the developers. And I like how the plan has evolved, and yes, we need to get to a single scorecard, but I know we will get there. But in the beginning, I didn't see the need for that, but now it's an effective way to transition this. And so I think that there's goodness in that. With that said, I proclaim my support at the FAST conference. I'm sticking by it, and the thing is it's an easy decision because this is absolutely the right thing to do. So anyway, I'm obviously very in favor of this. And, I'm in favor also of approving this in the first reading. So.
Okay. Commissioner, I think I have Commissioner DeGard as the seconder of the motion.
Thank you, Mayor. This is one of those situations where it looks like we're doing legislative gymnastics, and to a given extent we are. And Natalie's been her expertise at kind of navigating this is laudable. And I think this is a correct direction to go. Let's hope that our good friends in Tallahassee are able to help sort this out and that we are able to get to the scorecard and put the matrix aside. So congratulations, Natalie, for getting us to this point. I'll look forward to seeing you after 180 gets through.
Okay, final comments, Commissioner Gao.
Thank you, Mayor. Natalie, thank you. You constantly, consistently work incredibly hard to move Dunedin forward in what you do to improve the quality of life. We talk all the time about how Dunedin is a leader, and this is just another wonderful opportunity to really show our hand. And this is where we want to go when we're kind of handcuffed a little bit by our legislature, but we do what we can within that framework. And so, thank you. And if anybody, aside from this sustainability matrix, doesn't know Natalie, call her up and have a meeting with her, and or invite her out to coffee. She can talk to you hours about all kinds, and it's just wonderful, wonderful. So proud to have you on our staff and in our community. Thank you for everything that you do. I love the additional new items, and gone are the days of if you just had, I don't even remember what it's called now, smart energy, whatever, on your microwave or whatever, that we talk about bioswales, we talk about blue roofs and green roofs, and just the steps where we're going is just amazing. So thank you for everything you do. Appreciate it.
Okay, final comments, Commissioner Sandberg.
As usual, Natalie, you did a very comprehensive job, going to the internal and that external review. You dug deep, you did the right thing, and I'm fully supportive. You're looking out for the betterment of the whole city of Dunedin, and you did a great job, and 100% behind you. Thank you.
So, best government's local. I'll say it a million times. And Natalie, it's because you got people right here in our community that care. They want to make our community better. But in this case, it's an issue of our community, but it's a far-reaching issue to our whole universe and our future of our children and generations to come. And I'm proud that we are a leader here. I'm very thankful to the groups that gave FAST, et cetera, that gave input both externally and internally. But Natalie, you're the person that has the passion that brings it all together. I couldn't help when Commissioner Gao was talking that I remember back when you first started, and at one of the first coastal cleanups, you were there with your husband. And I learned right off the bat, you two were passionate. You lived it. It wasn't just a job. You lived it. And it shows. It shows in what you do. And so it shows in this work here. And you worked hard to get here. I love the additional items as well. I can't stand the overreach that happens coming from Tallahassee, but in this case, they seem to realize it was overreach, and they're trying to fix it, so hopefully we'll get that fixed, and we'll get back to a single scorecard as soon as that's humanly possible. I want to do that. So I'm absolutely in favor of it, so I guess we'll go to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Gao?
Aye.
Commissioner Sandbergen?
Aye.
Commissioner Dugard?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Walker?
Aye.
And Mayor Franey?
Aye, and that motion passes unanimously, and we'll go to second reading. And our second reading is February 5th?
February 5th. Thank you.
February 5th, great,
Really
thank you.
appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, we're going to go to Resolution 26-01, adopting certain rules of procedure for the commission. And Jen, can you please read Resolution 26-01 by title only?
Resolution 26-01, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dunedin, Florida, adopting certain rules of procedure for the Commission, repealing Resolution 25-11 in its entirety, and all resolutions in conflict herewith, and providing for an effective date. That was Resolution 26-01, read by title only.
Okay, I need a motion for Resolution 26-01.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I got Sandbergen and I got Walker. Vice Mayor. Okay, staff presentation, Michelle.
Thank you, Mayor. So annually, the commission reviews their rules of procedure at the first meeting in December, which you all did on December 4th. What you have before you is the resolution reflecting those revisions. Those revisions include Vice Mayor serving in absence of the chair for CRA, Vice Mayor being able to sign in absence of Mayor, nomination process for Vice Mayor, workshop items able to be added if no objections. And then there is an area in parentheses under special meetings that was questioned That is actually in the charter. In order to get the 2 members of the city commission, that is what, the reason that states as chair, not as chair, but as elected, is to meet the 2 requirements. For example, CRA, the mayor is the chair, so therefore she would need to be considered as an elected official to be one of the 2. Because it states mayor, city manager, or any 2 members of the city commission. Chair is not, would need to be considered as one of those 2. Is that correct, Jen? Do you did I get that right?
That was what I understood from our conversation earlier, that you
City
all had
manager, is
found
that
out
what
from
you
the
understood as
former
well?
mayor, I believe, as to why that was in there, yeah.
I believe so.
So does that in essence mean I alone can call a special meeting in general, but when it comes to CRA, I cannot?
Correct.
Okay. So I have less power on the CRA? Wow, how disappointing. Yeah, no, that's okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, but that's really the only applicability, right? I mean,
I think it was just to clarify.
to clarify it, yeah, sounds good. Okay. Anything else?
No, ma'am, that was everything.
Okay, so on that note then, do we have questions for staff, starting with Commissioner Gao?
No questions, Mayor.
Commissioner DeGarden?
I have one question, Mayor, thank you. If it takes 2 commissioners to call a meeting, how do you avoid sunshine for those 2 commissioners to become aware that they're wanting to call a meeting?
Would have to be during a meeting, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the only time that a meeting could be called by 2 commissioners would be during a meeting?
Correct.
Okay, thank you, that clarifies that.
So if you and Commissioner Gao get mad, decide that you want to call a meeting.
But you don't know the other one's mad, but.
Well, at the meeting, you might get mad together.
If Gal gets mad, you know Gal's mad.
Yeah, that's true, and I'm sure it's about the environment or multimodal.
But they can't tell each other they're mad because that would be a violation of sunshine.
Before the meeting.
Oh,
But in the
Darius?
meeting, you know,
Okay.
I'm mad, and I think you're mad.
Thank you, I'm glad we clarified
Okay, all right,
that.
I better stop this, yeah, okay. Sorry, or our developers might think we're crazy up here, so. All right, okay. Any other questions, Vice Mayor?
No.
You don't dare after that, right?
No additional questions.
Commissioner Sandberg, any questions?
No questions, Mayor.
Yeah, I don't have any questions either. So I want to open it to public input. If anyone in the audience wishes to come forward and speak on the rules and procedures of the City Commission, I guarantee it's pretty dull. This would be your time. Okay, seeing no one, I'll close public input. And so I will go to commission comments, starting with the maker of the motion, Commissioner Sandbergen.
Nothing else to add, Mayor.
Okay, and Vice Mayor?
Nothing else.
Commissioner Gao?
No comments.
Commissioner DeGarde?
No comments, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, I have no other comments, and so we'll go to roll call vote.
Commissioner DeGarde?
Aye.
Commissioner Gao?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Walker?
Aye.
Commissioner Sandbergen?
Aye.
And Mayor Franey?
Aye, and that motion passes unanimously. Okay, we're going to go to 3C, award of bid 25-2540, Marina Fishing Pier Replacement to On Point Contracting Company LLC in the amount of $1,742,991.46, 1 penny more than the posted notice amount of $1,742,991.45, okay? And then, so I'll go to staff presentation. Clay.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Clayton Watkins, Utilities and Engineering. With me today is also Lori Ferguson, the Harbor Master. We are here for item 3C, which is the award of bid 25-2540 of the Marina Fishing Pier Replacement to On Point Contracting Company, LLC of Spring Hill, Florida, in the amount of $1,742,991.46. As the mayor just noted, there was a Scribner's error in the title that was posted, so that is noted of the 46 cents, not the 45 cents. The project was competitively bid with 11 bids received by the December 16th, 2025 bidding deadline. The bids ranged from $945,261.58 to $3,561,607.25. Staff reviewed all bids and determined the lowest responsible bidder As the lowest bidder noted on here was not responsive, their application did not include signature items and a few things that is required for the bid. Therefore, On Point Contracting Company, LLC, of Spring Hill met the minimum requirements specified in the bid documents. Staff subsequently checked the company's references and received satisfactory feedback. The project was bid out in 2 phases, one for demo and one for construction, as we are still waiting on the Army Corps permit for the construction. But the demo phase is anticipated to start shortly after the NTP, and through some communications that we had through purchasing, we're expecting an NTP start date of early March with 60 days of completion. The construction phase will follow as soon as thereafter. It'll be 120 days for construction. And with that, staff hereby recommends approval of award of bid 252540 Marina Fishing Pier Replacement to On Point Contracting Company, LLC, of Spring Hill, Florida, in the amount of $1,742,991.46 as detailed herein, and we are here to answer any questions.
Before I go to questions, can you go a little slower with the timeline?
Yes,
So it's the 60
sorry.
days, the demolition?
Yeah, we're
and 120 days, so can you just walk through that?
Yeah, so we didn't do some communication through purchasing because we're not allowed to reach out until after tonight. We are trying to get it, to do the demo first, get it.
Early March.
Yes,
Early March, 60 days.
60 days.
And then,
Once this Army Corps permit is received, we'll start construction, and they have 120 days to complete from there.
okay.
Sorry.
All right, no, that's okay. I'm going to go with questions, and I'll start over here on this side. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm assuming, because I believe this is a practice with all the contracts that we award, that those timelines, 60 days for demo, 120 days for construction, those will carry with them liquidated damages if exceeded. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, excellent. And what is your feeling? How have things been going? I've heard several times that permitting through the Army Corps of Engineers has been somewhat problematic. Can you confirm or deny or?
I wouldn't say it's been problematic. We've had very good communication with our reviewer. Where we've had some hiccups is Army Corps has other federal agencies that review, and those agencies were furloughed for several months during the fall, and that has affected some of our time frame. Our Army Corps reviewer was working, and she provided feedback, and we've actually met with her, but that is where the concern lies.
Okay, so the representative who you're working with, the Army Corps of Engineers, is not feeling positive that we can get this done in a timely manner?
Yes,
Okay.
she has. What she maintains and controls, she feels she's been very converses with us and very, we've been working together with her.
Okay, great. No further questions.
Okay, Commissioner Sandbergen, questions?
I would assume that this will have an effect on the Clearwater Ferry. Will service have to discontinue?
No, we should be, as we will have our pre-construction meeting, that will be one of the topics that will still maintain service.
Okay. And how about any communication with the 2 restaurants down there, with Old Bay or Bon Appetit? It's going to be a really busy time of their season.
There will need to be conversations once we get the person under contract and moving forward. Generally, most of the work from when we had our pre-bid meeting, the companies that showed up for that spoke that a lot of them will be working seaward. They will not be doing too much on the landward side. Okay. Maybe they might have like a roll-off dumpster that's sitting inside the area that is already fenced off today.
I was down there today. It's kind of like, I enjoy watching the crane, especially when it's working. You see any possibility interference between the pier and what's going on down there now?
There will need to be communication between the 2 contractors. Okay. But like we mentioned, as we start the demo, and most of our conversations prior to bidding, most of the demo would take place seaward, so they would be coming in and out off of the boat ramp and probably staying out of the area where our contractor is working currently.
Okay. And do you anticipate having to close the marina to the slip renters while this construction is going on?
No, unless there's an indication, you know, there may be a scenario where we're bringing something in that we might need to close the channel for a little while, but other than that, the marina should
And
operate for the rest of it.
my last question, and it kind of jumps on what the mayor said, substantial completion or something to that effect in 60 days? Do you have is substantial?
Yeah, in demo, substantial means it's just gone. That's a lot of terms more for us during construction, but it's as long as it's demoed and gone, that's substantial completion for demo.
Good. That's all I had. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Commissioner Gao, questions?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. To kind of piggyback, Vice Mayor, a little bit on the Corps of Engineers. You've got 60 days for demo and 120 for construction. And how confident are we that that construction will start on day 61 or 62?
So I would actually probably to answer that we're not that confident it'll start on day 61. The main intention is that we want to make sure we're up and going by time before December 1st so we can have the boat parade.
Very good. I
That's
just
the
thought it in
goal.
my head, and you just said it. I love it.
That's the goal.
That's the end goal, is to make sure we're
I love what,
ready.
boy, you're going for the big award of the year.
Kiss up. I can't follow that at all. But, all right, so, yeah, but with the timeline we have now, we are looking at early September is kind of
I would tell you our goal is to make sure we're done by December 1st.
by December 1st.
Yes, because there may be a gap in between it's gone.
Do
And,
math, okay.
well, what I'm saying is that's why there's two phases. They could complete phase 2. There may be a time that there's nothing going on until they get the permit, and then they're back constructing again.
Right. Which kind of, that was my purpose of the first question was, what kind of gap might there be between demo and construction?
You could see a couple month gap between the two.
Okay. And the 1.7, almost 1.8, where's that money coming from?
Most of that is reimbursable through FEMA.
Okay, so thank you very much. I think that's always important to let the residents know
Yes.
that, you know, especially for anybody who thinks that the pier should have been done 6 months ago. You know, if you're working to make this as cheap as possible, working with FEMA, sometimes you got to play by their rules as well. So, all right, so thank you. That's all that I have. No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Dugard,
Thank you, Mayor.
questions?
In this particular case, we did not go with the lowest bidder. Explain the criteria around making the decision not to go with the lowest bidder.
This one was the lowest bidder did not provide all the documentation that was required for the bid.
I see. So they failed to provide
They were not responsive.
They're non-responsive. Okay, so that moved us up to this provider. Is that correct?
Correct. That moves us to the second one, yes.
All right, thank you. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
So a couple things. So we're replacing the pier as it was,
Yes.
basically like for like.
Yes. You'll better structurally, but like for
Yeah,
like.
no, I
And
got you.
the framework of what you see.
I don't want you to rebuild it with its flaws that it has.
Exactly. And we'll be looking at concrete floating docks instead of the aluminum ones that were out there before.
Great, okay. And we're confident we're going to get this FEMA money with everything going on?
So the FEMA money, we haven't heard that we're not going to get the FEMA money, certainly, but we have heard that it's slower in coming. And the reason for that is that they are still paying out for the COVID funding. So we haven't heard, as I said, that FEMA is reneging on anything. It's what we have heard is that it's going to be slower, much slower than we had anticipated. But we have an eye on that through our finance department.
And because I get asked constantly, and all I can ever say is, I'm always told it's on time. The east wall timeline for that to be completed is when? And it's on time.
So the previous timeline had us ending in, end of April. There will be additional days added because of the additional work that's happening on the north wall where we have to redo the wall and the water main break. That's probably going to add about another 75 to 80 days. So that'll put us into July.
Okay. Okay, and I think, Vice Mayor, you had a follow-up?
Yeah, I think this might be for the city manager. I believe, and hoping you can confirm this, that we've received, or we will be receiving, $1.5 million specifically for the pier.
We did submit for a grant appropriation, it was awarded for the pier.
Okay, so, that's a great news story, because the 1.7 with 1.5 from the state, that's good. So, thank you.
That's a great point. Anybody else have a quick follow-up, or everybody good? Okay, so I'm going to open it up for public input. Anyone in the audience wish to come and speak on this issue? Seeing no one, I will close public comment, and I will ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have Walker and Gow. I'll go to final comments, starting with Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so this is a day that's been long coming, and I think we're all very happy to get this going, because this, we need to complete the bulkheads, but that we really, once the pier is done, that we will have done all the stuff up to the master plan, and then we can start talking about floating docks and that sort of thing. So I am very much looking forward to that. The one thing that, I think was Commissioner Sandbergen touched on, and this is just, it's going to be very important through this process that we're talking to the businesses down there and making sure that they're getting current status, and, and basically, probably the biggest thing is just ensuring that they know what the heavy traffic times are going to be and look like, so that they don't have any problems getting their supply chain trucks and all the stuff associated with that. So I, just please keep them in the loop. So those are all my comments. Thank you.
Okay, and seconder of the motion, Commissioner Gow.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, and again, just to piggyback on the Vice Mayor, we've talked a lot for those businesses on the west end, how important the Clearwater Ferry was to their businesses. And so we finally have that up and running, and I hear that passengers on that ferry are already where they were almost pre-COVID. And so it is nice that those levels are high again. So hopefully our businesses down there are feeling that positive impact. And so hopefully this can get going just as soon as possible, because that pier is also a revenue generator as well. And so, yeah, the quicker it can get done, the better. I know that the residents, all of us, you all, Lori, everybody's been waiting for this. And so it's nice to be that much closer to shovels in the ground, or shovels in water, dirt, I don't know, something. But anyway, thank you very much.
Commissioner DeGard, final comments?
Congratulations getting us here. Thank you very much for getting us here this quick. It appears to me this is going to be like 2 projects, and that we're going to have to react to it like it's really 2 projects, because we've got demolition and then construction. And there could be a lot of time between those 2. From my standpoint, I think we would welcome any acceleration of that gap that we could possibly see. We're all eager to see a new pier. Thank you very much.
Okay, Commissioner Sandbergen, final comments?
Yeah, really nothing more to add. I spent so much time down there. I've been out. I recognize those guys, and I've spent hours with you today. And it's a long time coming, and that we've all agreed that's the west end. Of, there's not many pictures floating around of Dunedin that doesn't include that. And I'm excited. I'm glad this day's finally here, and I'll be glad the day we can walk back out there. So thank you to both of you.
December 1st. I mean, we might want to shoot for November 15th at least, just so we have 2 weeks to not, worry that it's going to come in for a close landing. But yes, boat parade, boat parade, boat parade. But no, seriously, obviously that is the jewel of Dunedin, the marina and the pier, and it is sorely missed by everyone. And it's chaos down there now, so it makes it hard on everything, and including the playground and parking and everything else. So, so this is great. We're moving. We're making progress. We can see some light at the end of the tunnel. We can see the lights of the boat parade headed our way. So, let's keep it going. Okay. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, and I think we'll take a short break before we start our development project. Okay, all right. We'll be right back. going to bring the meeting back to order. The next item is 3D, application DR 2025-0004, first hearing of design review approval for the development of a two-story, 21-unit residential vacation home project called Azul Avenue Vacation Homes, located at 1380 Pinehurst Road. And application DR 2025-004 is quasi-judicial. You want to kind of guide us through this?
Sure. So the first thing that we're going to do is we need to swear in. The clerk needs to swear. I'm sorry. The clerk needs to swear in any witnesses who are wishing to provide testimony today.
Do you swear the testimony you are about to give in this proceeding is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
Okay, then does anyone up here have any ex parte communications to disclose for the record? Nope. Okay. And we'll go to staff presentation by Francis and George.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Mayor, nice to see you Thursday. I was a little worried about you on Tuesday. You look great today, though.
They didn't want me hovering over them again on the screen, so.
George Kinney on behalf of the Community Development Department. So the lead on this project is actually Frances Sharp, our planner too. So I'm going to turn it over to her. She's going to provide you with a brief presentation, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions. The applicant and basically his full team are here also behind us, and I know they want to present some of the renderings after we're done. So I'm sure you'll enjoy some of that as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Frances.
Yes. Thank you, George. Once again, good evening, Commissioner, Mayor, Vice Mayor, staff. Frances Leong, Planner 2 for the City of Dunedin. I'm here to present the application DR-2025-0004, also known as Azul Avenue. As you can see in the first slide, the presentation and the public hearing dates that we are on our first hearing with the City Commission. The project has been heard by the local planning agency on November 12th. And should the first hearing goes through, the second hearing is scheduled for February 5th, 2026. And just to give everybody a general information about the site in itself, it is located near the southwest corner of Pinehurst Road and San Christopher Drive there, as you can see in aerial. The site is approximately an acre big in size. The land use in the zoning district is retail and services for the land use and FXM, form-based medium, for the zoning. What the project is being proposed is a 21-unit vacation homes that is going to be situated at the site. And based on the land use and the zoning, it does permit vacation rental use on the property. Although that the zoning does permit residential uses as well, the underlying land use does indicate that residential uses are only permitted as a secondary use. And per our city code, we view vacation rentals or vacation homes as a commercial non-residential use. So based on the land use plan evaluation, as you can see on the slide, the property does have a maximum density of up to 24 dwelling units per acre. And how we arrive at the density for vacation rentals for this is that we would use the residential equivalency of the 24 dwelling units per acre, and what the project is proposing is 21 units, which is by far less than what they are utilizing for the site. And going again with the zoning district, once again, it is form-based medium. This is by far the first catalyst project, as you will, that will be utilizing the performance standards of this particular zoning. So as you can see here, the setbacks are set a little bit closer than typical because of the zoning in itself. as well as the heights that they are proposing is 2 stories, which is 27 feet. And staff did evaluate based on the compatibility objective of the comprehensive plan, excuse me. And based upon the evaluation that we see here, the surrounding area consists of a mixture of land uses, primarily residential, office use, as well as a little bit of like the neighborhood retail uses, which in fact, based on the proposal that they are requesting, is compatible in terms of uses as well as the scale, which you will see in your backup where you have heights of variations between 13 to 20 feet of the existing building heights. And then as we continue on, we have a table that provide the Spark Notes version, as you will, of what's being met based on the design standards evaluation here, which would include the parking, the buffering, landscape buffering, the requirement of meeting public art as an example there. And then also, of course, the traffic impact analysis was done. So far, that this project has been brought forward in front of the Development Review Committee, which is our internal staff committee, as well as the Architectural Review Committee and the local planning agency, all of which have been reviewed and have recommended approval. And as you can see, there's a little bit more of a narrative within the Architectural Review Committee. They were brought in front of them multiple times based on the concern of an existing grand tree. And fortunately, as you can see in the last paragraph in that section, the ARC, based on the presentation, they have reduced another unit on the project and was able to save that grand tree as a result of the proposal that they had resubmitted. So based upon all of those evaluation, staff does find that the application is consistent with the applicable review criteria of the design review, subject to the listed conditions that you see on this slide. And now we'll turn it over to our applicant's presentation. Unless you want,
Yeah,
yes.
so we're going to get a presentation from the applicant, but any questions to staff only right now, starting with Commissioner Gao?
Mayor, a lot of my questions, I don't know whether they'll go to staff or to the developers, so can I hold my questions till the end? Thank you.
I think a lot of questions happened after the applicant. The applicant was up there at LPA, so that's good. Commissioner DeGard, questions for staff? Vice Mayor?
Just, can you move to slide 8 real quick?
Yes.
So it looks like we used the sustainability matrix, the old one, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, all right, just making sure I...
Actually, they wouldn't have a choice at this point, Vice Mayor, because we don't have that scorecard.
Good point. Yeah,
As
very
an
good.
item,
Okay.
yeah, that's coming, but-
All right, no further questions.
I will add that Natalie made a comment to me before she left that they probably wouldn't have any trouble with the new one either.
Okay, great.
Commissioner Zambergen?
My questions will be for the developer.
Okay. My question, parkland impact fee, what is it?
Yes, so based on the rough calculations that I have, we are estimated approximately $103,000 to $157,000 without, and this is considering without any pending credits. That is still under review with our Parks Department.
What's the most credit they could get? I mean, how much could that go down because of credit?
I wouldn't anticipate a lot, Mayor. We'd have to probably get that answer from Parks for you. Typically, they're just looking at it conceptually at this point, and then they're going to do that final PIF, as it gets.
Okay, but the number without credit is like, did you say 157,000?
Yeah.
103,000.
103,000. What was the I thought you said 150 something.
No, 103,350 57. It's
Gotcha,
probably about
okay, all right,
57.
I jumped to conclusions, maybe wishful thinking. Okay, okay, applicant presentation. The applicant wish to come forward?
Hello, my name is Jonathan Poole, and I'm with SDG Architecture. I'm a project manager for this, and we'd like to give you a little presentation, a quick synopsis of our project here.
Great.
So this is the existing site now. It is in disarray, shambles, and we're going to be improving that, is our hope. Again, more colored pictures of the existing site and the condition it sits now. And here's our proposed site. Here's our development. We have some solar shown here. We have some art. And you see the big grand tree right over there. That is what we're saving. We reduced a unit to be able to save that. Actually, 2 units, excuse me, to be able to save that. And you can see the pathways along the side and the walkways. And then this is a quick little video of through our proposed site to show all the architectural intent that we're trying to do, the density, as well as some of the amenities that we have. As we come in here, we had right over to our left there, that was the office, the leasing office. And then we have a little charging station for EV vehicles. And as we continue down the drive, you'll see all the units in the front doors. And then we're going to take a quick right here, or left first. And then you'll see the walking paths that we're proposing all the way around the perimeter of this. It's a walking path, and we have some sitting areas with benches. We have some garbage cans provided. It just provides a nice green space for everybody to walk through and enjoy. And these will lead you back into our pool area, the recreation area for our community, where they'll be able to hang out and congregate and maybe even barbecue there. Then as we come around this next corner here, it leads us over to our golf cart area where we have a golf cart charging station and parking, and just gives you a feel for all of our amenities. And then as we come down this final stretch here, it's going to bring us back to the front where you'll see the big grand tree that we're going to save, and it shows the bike racks, some more seating areas for all this common area. That's a representation of the tree. It's obviously not as large. It's larger in real life. And then this slide talks about the coastal vernacular, which is from the palette from the city of Dunedin. We have the board and batten, we have low slope roofs, we have shutters, siding, we have lots of symmetry going on through here, and it's just a quick slide to display that we're meeting that criteria. And then for this, we have a great location on the Pinehurst corridor, very close to the downtown. We're proposing 21 units of medium density. It's going to revitalize this abandoned gray lot. Right now, it's got native landscaping, and we'll be improving that. I believe we're going to be adding 15 trees to the existing site, or excuse me, 36 trees total. We're required 21, so we'll be going above and beyond with that. And then for the infrastructure, we'll be having a new road, and we're going to have stormwater mitigation. We're going to have a vault system underneath the central road to obtain all that and push it back out where it needs to be. And thank you guys for your time. gentlemen and ladies. I appreciate it very much.
Okay, might want to stay there. We're going to have some questions. I guess we'll start with, I forget where I started before. I'll start over here. Commissioner Gao, questions?
Thank you, Mayor. Can you go to the slide that shows what will be the oak tree? You know, it kind of shows part of Pinehurst there as well. There we go. Thank you. I believe I read in the staff report that the setback is 2 feet. And so I'm have a hard, am I reading this wrong? Because it looks to me that what is shown in the picture appears to be, appears to be.
We're meeting that front setback with our art wall, and as well as our leasing office there is right up against that front setback. And
Well, how do you measure the setback?
From the edge of right-of-way.
Yeah, just staff. How are we measuring the setback?
From the edge of right-of-way.
From the edge of the roadway?
Right-of-way.
Edge of the right-of-way?
Edge of right-of-way, yes. Sir.
Okay, which is to the west of the sidewalk, right where the light post is?
Yes, yes, sir.
Right, okay. And so to me, like between the distance between the sidewalk and the wall rendering appears much wider than 2 feet. Is it just my perception, or?
So like that building that you see on the right-hand side is in essence right on the right-of-way. You know, is probably 2 feet from the right-of-way. I think it's 2 to 17,
It's,
right?
we're right on the property line.
So it's a minimum of 2, Commissioner, so it's not 2 set in stone. It's a minimum of 2 up to 17 feet. So there's a window where that setback can occur. It doesn't have to be exactly at 2. It can be anywhere between 2
And
and
so
17.
do we know what that setback is going to be?
The site plan, I'm sure.
Because I thought the site plan said 2 or 2.03 or something.
Right, so that's the closest.
Well, 3 feet is not a whole lot in my world. So it's.
Are you asking for it to come farther forward, or?
No, I'm afraid it's going to be too close to the road.
Oh, okay, I got you, yep.
And 2 feet isn't a whole lot versus, I'm thinking 8 feet,
So
10 feet.
the minimum
is-
setback is 2, and they obviously comply with that provision, but there is some wiggle room in that front setback, yes.
Okay. And it's, 21 units? How do you measure the units? And how many rooms are there per unit?
There's 2 rooms per unit.
Two rooms per unit. Can I rent out 1 room?
No.
No, I have
You
to rent the
whole
unit.
Townhome. Each individual townhome will be rented individually.
Okay. And what platform will you be using to rent?
I'm going to have to defer to Walter on that. What platform are we going to be using to rent these? As far as like.
We have a property management.
You have to, if you're going to talk, you have to come to the microphone.
Walter Pinocchio, Azulav LLC. Thank you very much, everybody, for all you do and everybody's hard work so far. It's been a year-long process. So we have Beaches USA lined up as our property management company. They're 20 employees out of Largo with a property inspector that lives right on Davis Road in Dunedin. And they're a 24-hour accountable property management. They manage 200-plus vacation rentals specifically. They don't do hotels. They only do this style rental where it's a residential style home. So we're planning to work with them. I spoke with Nick Gillian, the owner, and I have him lined up. I tried to get him here today so he could talk on behalf. He's a really professional organization, 20 years in business. So that's what we're planning to have, if that's what you're asking on the property.
Well, that's management, but if I live in Kansas, how do I know you're here?
Well, they have platforms, the property management, they do the bookings as well. So I'm sure they're going to put us on different websites. So you're talking about more on the business plan of how we plan to attract people to come to the site?
Well, is it Airbnb, Verbo?
I'm sure, Airbnb, the national websites for sure. National websites do come at a cost. So, but I'm leaving all the booking up to the professionals at Beaches USA. That's my game plan. I'm sure they're going to use VRBO, Airbnb. They have algorithms for booking nights and all that, which I'm not really, I'm a real estate broker, but I'm not real familiar with how that whole industry works.
Okay. And certainly through your video, I saw bike racks, and if I hadn't, the mayor was kind enough to point those out to me. So thank you very much. And you also have charging stations for golf carts. So are there going to be golf carts there? If I rent one of these units, can I rent a golf cart from you, or can I rent a bicycle?
You know, that rolls right into Beaches USA has connections with companies that have the liability insurance and everything. They bring the golf cart, drop it off on a trailer if they want, and they can come and rent a golf cart that way. We are not going to have on-site golf carts for the vacationers. But inside the unit, I've seen this before. I didn't have this long conversation with Nick, but he told me that they do have like cards that they leave inside the units that somebody can call and get a golf cart. And we'll keep it local if we can. If there are, I don't even know if there's golf cart rental companies in Dunedin. I mean, I own a home in Dunedin, but I'm not sure if there's somebody renting out golf carts here, but we'll keep it local if that's something we can do. I think it would be very valuable for the community to have golf carts. We're in the golf cart area, and it's appropriate for the community to have them, so I'd like to have that.
You won't get an argument from me, so yeah. Okay. George, I'm going to get the acronym wrong, but XFM, right? Is that?
FXM.
FXM.
Form-based medium.
Oh, okay. What could go there on this property?
So form-based medium is one of our more robust zoning designations. Pretty much, there's a lot of things that could go there. So I think, you kind of, the thing is, though, when you're looking at this thing, you have to look at the land use and the zoning combined. So as Francis mentioned, the land use, R&S, the primary uses for R&S are commercial uses. So when you go up to the FXM, though, you have to look for FXM commercial uses first. And then that R&S as a secondary use can allow residential. So that's when you would go up to the FXM and see if there's what residential types are allowed, and then you can make that work. So it's a combination of the two, but FXM does provide a pretty large litany of permissible uses.
Okay. And so you could have mixed-use development there.
Absolutely, and that's certainly the intent, Commissioner, because form-based, as you might think, it's meant to be about the form, not so much about the use. So the use is really to follow the form of the development. But yeah, certainly it encourages a mix of uses.
Okay, mixed use. It could also be an apartment complex.
Well, it can only be an apartment complex if the commercial
aspect
was there first.
Okay, probably mixed use then, right? Retail on the bottom and rental
vertical
units
or horizontal
up top.
mixed
Something.
use, sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So, gentlemen, so why did you choose short-term rentals?
I think it's excellent that you asked that question, because from a congestion standpoint, and I think if we were to talk about parking and you start talking about apartments and you start talking about retail space and what kind of retail or restaurants or this site lends itself to what it is. We didn't end up with this beautiful residential neighborhood by accident. I mean, we went through some extensive DRC, ARC, LPA to land. It was Dunedin, it was you, it was your staff, it was your advisory boards, not so much how we ended up where we are today. So I want to congratulate everybody, because what we see in front of us really is a result of what your FXM zoning has done. It's created a scenario where you get these beautiful projects that don't create massive amount of congestion in the street. I mean, against what it was before that was not only congestion, but unpredictable what could happen out on Pinehurst Road from when it was Da Vinci Academy. So that's how we ended up where we are. It's sort of, that's what fits into a 1 acre lot with low intensity at the site.
Okay. And thank you. And so refresh my memory, what is the trip count for this project?
It was,
I think it was 11 trips at the
It was very low.
PM peak hour, right?
And to the parking, Commissioner, if I might just add on to that, this is our most aggressive parking requirement because it requires one space per room, so not like one space per dwelling unit or one, or what have you. So it does tend to require more parking than a traditional residential subdivision would require.
Okay, and 11, and the trip count was 11 at peak hour? Is that?
14?
Yeah.
City Attorney says 14.
14 peak hour?
Yeah, total trips was 15 for entry, 11 exit for peak.
11 exit, right.
So there's a difference between entrance and exit on trip counts?
We're keeping 4 cars.
Is that?
Yeah, that's AM peak, and then PM peak. So PM peak then is 14 total trips, 9 entry, 5 exit.
14 entry, was it? 9 entry.
And then 5 exit.
5 exit. Okay. How do you, just generally, how do you come up with trip counts, and what does a trip count mean for the residents and the public?
I think they have their traffic folks here, so
I did not
Oh, you
invite
did
the
not bring-
traffic
So
engineer.
can I-
We've had this, oh, come on up.
Hello, Council, thank you for having me. My name's Kyle Benda. I'm an attorney for Benda Law representing the applicant. I'm not a traffic engineer, but I can kind of play one, if you will. So you've got your trip counts are cars, right? So if you've got a certain amount of trips per day, right, that's individual car trips going to or from, right? But then that's always broken down into AM peak hour and then PM peak hour. So in the busiest hour of the morning, how many trips are you having? And then same for the PM. And then that's also distributed among the roadways around. So if you look through the report itself, it's going to break down, I think from my memory, it's like 35% from the north and then 65% coming from the south. But then all of that comes in there are all those diagrams of the turning in and turning out, right? Those are all of your trips, and then that's distributed. So each trip is one car. So if you've got 14 trips in the PM peak hour and you've got 9 coming in and 5 leaving, right? Conceptually, you can just think of those as individual cars during that hour.
May I, Mayor? So the vehicle trip count is the generation is based upon the Institute of Traffic Engineers. And when I was a city planner, it was the 3rd edition, now it's probably the 8th edition. But anyway, ITE, they will look at the trips generated across a whole number of multifamily uses based upon density and intensity and those types of things. And then they'll average them out and they'll say that, for example, in this type of development, 2 bedrooms would generate 8 trips per day. And then they'll divide that up into AM and PM peak hour, because really the only thing that's important is how much it contributes at the busy time, and not how much it contributes all day long. So then the applicant did their own traffic study, and we had a peer review of that traffic study to say, are these did they use the right counts? Did they use the right, because it's based upon gravity. You have more trips going to a Kmart than a 7-Eleven and that type of a thing. So it's all very scientific, if you will, but it's based upon ITE, Institute of Traffic Engineers.
Okay, and an imaginary question that you won't be able to answer, but if it were something else, if it were a mixed use, right, without labeling what that means or how many, but the same number of units, how could something like that, I'm trying to get an idea of trip counts for different projects that might be on that one piece of property, and how this would compare to if it were mixed use.
So,
Is that, are you able to answer? You might not even be able to answer.
yeah, so going back to Jennifer's comments on the ITE, that ITE has a bunch of land use categories basically embedded into it, and then the studies show what those land uses will drive from an ingress and egress standpoint during the AM, PM peak. So each use would have to be looked at. So in this case, they only had to look at 21 short-term residential units. So they went to one piece of that ITE manual where that use is located, and they get those trip counts, and they can generate that math that Jennifer was talking about. If there's multiple uses, you've got to do that. You've got to engage that, whatever those trip counts are for each use.
So mixed use, excuse me, George, a mixed use would generate more because commercial always generates more than residential.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And, you know, a perfect example is, so as part of what ICE did for the peer review, they also looked at the use that was there previously, the charter school, and the trip rates coming out of the charter school.
You don't need to tell us that. We're all well aware.
We're much larger. So just as an example. But you get how the IT will look at a different use. So in that case,
Right.
a charter
Okay.
school versus.
And actually, the visual of the school, thank you, that was actually a good example.
May I say one thing? Is that
Yes.
sorry, please stay. There's also these are not full-time residents. So our occupancy, so even though the trip counts are the trip counts and they take the total amount of trip counts, if we are blessed with 100% occupancy all year round, well, thank you very much, and then we can use that trip count. But that's a worst case. Our calculations for a successful project like this runs in a 70% occupancy rate. So it's 30% less than what the current traffic study has. I just wanted to add that because I think it's important that they are as vacation rentals that way.
Okay. Mayor, I think that's it. That's all the question I have. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Guard, questions?
Thank you. Yes, I just need to understand, particularly the peak hour traffic along this particular road, because as the way I'm reading it, on the AM peak hour, this site will not contribute any traffic? Is that what I'm reading on the figure 5.0?
So according to their traffic impact analysis, their total trips for the AM peak hour will be 15. So you'll have 15 vehicles in and out of that site during AM peak. And that's at full occupancy, as was mentioned.
That must be probably 15% of what was there during peak hour because of the school being there.
Yeah, previously it was a 185.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm going to be about safety on this. What safety security measures will this facility have? We have a bunch of people coming in and out from various locations, presumably throughout the country. How are we handling security?
So when I spoke with Nick, he's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week emergency contact. That'll be posted throughout the project so that, and from a security standpoint, we haven't thought this through, but I would be open to cameras on site for that kind of security. If you're talking about, can you elaborate on what you mean by security? Are you talking like safety? Or are you talking?
Well, I'm talking about the safety of both the residents and the community around the residents and what they're going to have next door, those kind of things. Now, to the north, you have a retail shopping center, but to your south, and I think it's pretty much, I don't think you've got a lot of residents around that particular location. But I am more concerned about the people there, the safety of those people in there. We don't know.
So, yeah, there is going to be, he creates a manual and a book for every resident who stays there with procedures.
Okay.
There's a guest procedures manual.
Okay.
And we will have a 24-hour contact for emergency services.
Do we have background check?
He does run I don't know that he runs I don't know if it's how he does the tenant checks, but there's a tenant check.
There's a tenant check process.
I'm sure it's background. I don't think he's checking on their income levels or anything like that because it's short-term rental. It's probably just a background check. I mean, when we have short-term rentals throughout Dunedin, I don't know if it's a standard that all Airbnb owners are required to run a background check on short-term tenants.
Airbnb does.
Yeah, so.
And they have referrals as well.
Yeah, it may be that they validate the license through the booking, and that's going to be up to the property management company, and security is important. It's important for us to have safety in the community, that's the people who visit.
Do you anticipate a minimum stay?
I don't think that we'll rent any less than 3 days just because of the cleaning fee.
Okay.
I don't think it'll make financial sense for somebody to come and stay at the unit and pay hundreds of dollars for a cleaning fee, and then it's going to be equivalent to one night stay just to pay a cleaning fee. So I think that eliminates it. We haven't nailed down a minimum stay. I think the market will tell us. My guess is on this size of a unit, it's going to be longer than 3 days.
Do you have a maximum?
We don't really want to get into anything that's a 30-day.
Okay.
Because it changes the amount, but I'd be open under the right circumstances.
You might get 6-week requests
briefly in my real estate world, I did some management of this, and that's why I don't want to do it. But I can tell you that under the right tenant, if they wanted to stay for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and it wasn't a hindrance to our business plan, then I wouldn't bark at that. It's simpler and it's less fees, and it's that's the thought process behind it. But the financial side of this has been something that we look at on a regular basis to determine what makes sense.
I share my colleague's concern regarding setback. 2 feet is not a lot of setback. That's the width of a lawnmower. So.
As I understood it, I was under the impression that our community in the FXM zoning.
So that's what the form-based zone actually encourages, is to move the building close to the street to create that more urban space for walkability and so forth. So the zoning does kind of require them to pull it closer. Now, again, there is a window. It does. 2 is the minimum. It can move within that window, but they have been encouraged to keep the building closer to the street through this process. Okay. And that's just a product of the zoning commissioner.
All right.
And the one other thing I just wanted to really quickly add too on the responsible party aspect of it. So the city of Dunedin, as you may know, also has transient use provisions for short-term vacation rentals. They're fairly aggressive. They require responsible parties required. There's suspension and revocation provisions in here. So we do feel pretty comfortable with the fact that if there's an issue out there, it'll be very quickly handled.
Okay. What are impact fees on something like this?
Impact fees, so I don't know if they would get any credit they would get credit for the school, but I couldn't tell you what they are yet because they're not due until a building permit is actually filed and a certificate of occupancy is due. But you would be looking at a fire impact fee, a police impact fee, the public art impact fee, water, sewer. I think that's the 5 of them, right? Yeah, but there would be credit for anything that they currently have on site or that they were using in the past.
I know that Natalie's not here, or is she here? Is Natalie still here? No, she left. That's fine. I noticed that you scored a 125 on the matrix on this relative to sustainability. Do we have any idea if they'd had used the other code, what that would have been?
I think Natalie did a quick peek at that, and it was close, but not quite there. But she thought that it would be pretty simple to score well on the scorecard.
Get above the 300 minimum threshold. All right.
That was the impression I got.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Yeah, and just so you know, Natalie did ask me before she left, and I said, no, I don't think you need to go. But she did say she was pretty sure they'd be fine under the new system. Okay, great. Questions, Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. During the presentation, you talked about stormwater treatment So that's a vault underneath the property, right?
Yes, that's correct. There's a stormwater vault underneath the pavers in the main drive, and it'll collect all the water from the site, and then it'll take it all out to the road.
Okay. And when you say take it out to the road, what does that mean exactly?
Well, let's let the civil engineer answer this question.
She handled it at LPA, so here she comes.
Pat Montecchi, I'm the civil engineer. It's actually an exfiltration system, and anything that doesn't perk into the ground, it's basically what that is a perforated pipe, a pipe with holes in it surrounded by rock. The water goes into the system and perks into the ground, and then anything that's over what we're required to hold by law discharges through the outfall structure and goes to a pipe. We're piping the ditch in the back of the property that's caused significant erosion. So we're just completing the piping of that appurtenance, and it'll go into that culvert and out to the city system.
Okay. And then the rain barrels. What I'm interested in is, okay, so the water in the rain barrels, which I understand would...
I don't know anything about any rain barrels.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. There's no scoring on that. Sorry.
And there was a lot of faces that were like, what is he talking about?
Well, I was looking at item 5.6 in the sustainability matrix, and then I realized there's nothing there. I had one more question, and I completely lost my train of thought. No.
Come back if you think
Okay.
of it.
All right. Yep, that's good. Thank you.
Commissioner Sandberg, any questions?
Is this concrete block or is it frame?
Block.
Just block?
It's blocked, it's block all the way up, poured solid.
Okay. You know, I wanted to come back to something where I think it was Commissioner Dugard talked about minimum and maximum stays. Don't, keep an open mind on the maximum because, the last couple of years with those hurricanes, I'm a vacation rental owner, nothing to this extent, but I mean, that was a game changer when people needed, probably even know some of them that needed temporary housing like that. So don't take that off the table.
We won't take anything off the table when it comes to it making sense for for this community, our community, Dunedin. So yeah, it's definitely these management companies have ways of knowing what we should and should not be doing.
Right.
That's why I don't do it, because it's a whole science in and of itself to do proper property management.
George, isn't there, or Jennifer, I thought we had, that there like a criteria for short-term rentals. I thought I was on a committee one time where we wrote there had to be a 24-hour contact, some very strict rules.
We do.
That's still in play?
Yes.
Because I think it was brought up about safety.
Right, that's what I was referring to when before. So it's section 103.14.7, and there are, the standards range from the registration process. You all remember, you modified the registration process to apply per unit versus per parcel. We did that a short time ago. So all that registration information is in there. The responsible party that's required has to be within a certain distance and under a 2-hour response time. All of that. So all of this would be subject to those rules.
I mean, a new complex like this, I know we talked about parking on the streets, leaving the trash. I mean, this is a little bit different where this is self-contained like that. I saw there was decks, like upstairs roof decks, not on the front, on this picture, but were there also, on this picture, like on the top right, is that just for looks, or will that be accessible from the inside?
That's flat roof.
It's a mechanical deck.
You
I got
can't
you.
get to it.
Okay.
And then we used it for light mainly because you can see above the flat roof there that you can see there's 3 windows to let natural light into the unit. And then on the back side, the air conditioning condensers sit.
Okay, I got you.
Commissioner, we've been a little more critical on Hayden Mechanicals because we've had a couple design reviews where they kind of slipped out front and weren't as attractive. So they've done a nice job of kind of decorating them and moving them out of.
So these will be 2-bedroom.
Correct.
In a 2-bedroom, is there a maximum sleep load of 4 people or 6? Do you know off the top of your head?
2 beds? Yeah, 2 beds.
So that's 4 people?
4
I mean,
people.
fold-out beds?
Yeah, or two, or 1 bed for 2, yes.
Okay. Because I know we've run into that at one that I own. And is that management 24-hour on-site, or am I?
Yeah, it's 24/7 accountability around the clock for, that's what I was looking for. And what was interesting is when I found out one of his inspectors actually lives off of San Christopher Road.
Yeah.
That was great. I was like, perfect. Yeah. So, yeah, it's 24/7, 365 days, and they manage the booking, they manage the property, they manage the maintenance, they manage the emergencies.
Now, you're very fortunate to have that. I
Yep.
can't imagine what that's
I probably
costing you,
shouldn't
but
have said
that's
their
none of my
name.
business. Yeah, that's a big service. How about, have we calculated approximately what the Dunedin portion of his property taxes are, or is it a little too early?
I created an physical impact, but let's see what's got in here. We estimate $137,000 in, that's sales tax, your property taxes. I thought it was 93,000. Is it it's approximately $93,000.
That's right, total, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so-
It'll depend on the actual value. Yeah, at 93,560 based on a $5.4 million valuation by the tax appraiser.
I think, City Manager, do you want to add to that?
May I? Because Commissioner Dugard whispered in my ear the same question. And
Oh,
so-
okay, yeah.
So, and actually, we'll get the new construction value as well, once it's constructed and the COs are issued. And also, the charter school was exempt, so it's a
Right.
positive.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
to the
what I
tax
thought.
roll.
And the last thing, when we come back to comments, I'll have a couple of, each unit will have its own kitchen facility. The idea is
Correct.
to get the people in and then cook
Correct.
and.
Each unit, they're built like a residential
Right.
home.
Good. That's all I had. Thank you.
You're welcome.
A couple things. First of all, someone's not on site 24/7.
No,
Right.
ma'am.
How much on-site time will anybody be there?
We're not planning to have a full-time on-site,
Right.
like a hotel. We are a short-term
So the
rental.
bookings are online and.
Correct.
And so the exact requirement, and I only say this because I know it came up at LPA, and I thought you guys were saying that it was, somebody had to be available to be able to get a hold of them within 15 minutes. So what's the exact rule on that?
If I remember, it was like you have to be on site within 2 hours.
2 hours following notification from the city code enforcement of issues related to the vacation rental is what the code.
Well, what about if a citizen calls? I mean, a citizen calls to complain, well, I'm trying to think how that would work. I guess that could happen, they'd call the sheriff or what?
I was going to say either sheriff's office or code enforcement, if we're available, we can go out as well.
So chances are, if it's a nighttime issue, partying or whatever.
It would be more
I
than.
mean, I think cameras would be really good for you guys with 21 units, honestly.
Yeah, we're going to need cameras.
That'll tell you what you need to know if there's things going on that you don't,
100%. I mean,
make it easy on your company.
and
Way
it's,
easier.
and it's, it's a valuable piece of property that we want to make sure that no damage is done. So
Right.
both from a public safety standpoint and from protecting our own property, yeah, there needs to be cameras. And there's a pool there. So
Right.
I definitely want to have cameras by the pool.
The building that's to the left as you go in, what is that again?
That's an office. That can be.
So there might be some uses of
Yeah,
that.
we put it there because we may need it in high season. And it gave a little volume to the community, and it went in line, again, when I was earlier saying that what you see in front of you is a result really of the future land use and what you guys have in your master planning, in the form-based FXM zoning. This is what it produces. And that it was part of that. We had a structure towards the front. The being up against 2 foot against the road when we have no real usable use is a result of FXM zoning. So we made it an office, which we can use in high season. Will it be used all the time? Probably not. But that's the, the FXM zoning is creating beautiful urban medium density projects, and that's what you're seeing there. And so and as a vacation rental, if we go in the future and we get into managing it ourselves, then we could have an office and we would need an outside property manager.
Gives you flexibility.
Yep.
So is that going to be the artwork on the front?
No, I mean, these are renderings. I think they're cute, but they're from SDG to show that we have places to put the artwork. But we plan to fully fund to pay into the art fund and let the city of Dunedin decide what has to happen.
Will that be the kind of fence that goes there?
That is the type of wall we're planning to put along the front.
I only ask this, George knows why. What we see is what we get, right? Because I think that we've been down this road where what we saw wasn't what we got, and then we couldn't hold the developer accountable. So I guess I want to understand what is it that we see here that we're going to get?
Yep, that's a great question, Mayor, and we have tried to ratchet that up a little bit. So what we have in play now is, so when they do come forward for infrastructure review, we're going to pull their site plan off of infrastructure review, and we're going to sit back down as a DRC and make sure it's hitting on everybody's notes, including public art and including sustainability matrix. So before we get to a permitting stage, we're going to be sure that you are getting what is being shown to you.
Yeah, because we wanted to look nice. And I think the FXM, I mean, again, coming from the urbanized look, it's like in the old days, you'd build a building in the back and have all the cars in the front, and it would look like heck. So now you build the buildings frontwards, and it's got a way better look on the street side.
Yeah, great point, Mayor. And the other thing I would mention, Francis kind of hit on it. You'll see that RNS and an FXM zoning in that corner around that intersection. Right. So it's really intended to turn that intersection into a more urban form-based, walkable kind of community. And that's when she said catalyst, this is really the first one.
Right.
And it's not necessarily looking at uses the catalyst, but it is the form and it's the architecture, it's the mass, it's the density. This is kind of setting that standard out there.
I would think like Domino's and Pie Pizza and all them are,
exactly.
Pinehurst Pub, they're probably very happy about this project.
On the walkability, that was part of...
Walkability, yeah.
On the walkability, that was the idea, and with the sustainability for the paths around the community that you saw in the 3D walkthrough.
So I just want to ask you something, because I did watch the LPA. I got completely confused about the fact that you're going to have homeowner association documents, HOA documents.
Well,
Was I misunderstanding that whole leg of the conversation?
I'm planning to have rules and regulations within the community, which will really be turned into according to, after speaking with Nick, it's going to turn into a resident guide for operation of the unit and rules and regulations within the community.
Right, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
so that's what you were talking about.
I have an HOA attorney who does that, as Christine.
But you guys are continue to own it, and this got talked about at LPA too, whether there'd be just one owner or each unit would be owned. And I want to make sure I understand how that could.
So from our group, the intention is to continue to own it. The investors, one we have here today, his full intention is, and they made it clear that they want to keep it. They want to keep it. My past as a developer has been to, I like fee simple ownership under each unit, and it gives you flexibility for the future. It creates more revenue for the municipalities, having them individually owned, because divided they're worth more than they are individually. So from my investment group, they want to keep it as one. As a developer, I believe there's flexibility for in the future to have individual units. But there is no intention at this stage at all to sell any of them because the idea is to get the project stabilized.
So bear with me, though, because I want to understand what that would look like if it ever turned to that. I mean, what would that look like? How long could an owner or anyone else stay in that unit?
Yeah, so the code doesn't contemplate ownership necessarily for short-term rentals. It's going to just assure that it has to remain as a short-term rental, because if it turns residential, Mayor, then we've got an issue where they might be able to make it work because you could have residential as a secondary use to a non-commercial base, which is the short-term rentals. But you got to go back through that exercise, and you've got to assure that the density's there and or the floor area ratio is there. So for any change in use would basically, in essence, bring them back. Now, if they individually sell a unit and they are still operating as a short-term vacation rental, our land development code is silent to that. It doesn't take into account the ownership perspective.
Yeah, because you just have 21 owners operating as their short-term rental units, right?
And that is exactly how they would be sold, and that's the intent. So it's not that people are trying, we would want people moving into them. The idea would be that if you live out of state, which happens a lot in my business and my residential sales side, a lot of times people will call and there are no units in Dunedin that you can buy and come down for 3 months and then go back home and get your taxes paid and get some of your return on an investment. So that's why I liked to individually divide them up. But at this stage, we haven't engaged anybody to talk about plat or condoing them or anything like that as far as ownership. But they will always be short-term rental if that's what's up for discussion. But from an ownership standpoint, I think it makes sense to have them individually. My group doesn't. So we're going to keep it as one 21-unit community as it stands. But they'll always be short-term rental. And I think there's a need, actually, individually. I think there's a lot of people who live in other states who would love to own a home that they could come down twice a year, stay 3 months, go home, rent it the other 6 months.
Yep.
Split.
Well, we have limited areas that can have them, so it, it makes sense. Okay, I'm going to go to, I think there was a follow-up. Commissioner Gao, you had a follow-up?
I did. I actually have 2 questions. One, how are the renters going to get access to the units if there's really no management on site?
We have different, we can do lock boxes, but we'll probably use today's technology and have some type of keypad entry. They'll get an email with full instructions, and going back to, that'll tie into safety. They're going to sign an agreement on their way in that they're going to behave in a certain way. They're going to get their code to their unit, and they're going to get their rules and regulations along with the code to get inside the unit. Today's doorknobs, you can expire your listing. You can say, open that up at 4 p.m. Make that code work at 4 p.m. today. 3 days from now, at 11 a.m., I want you to shut that code off, and it's no longer working, and they can't get back into their unit. So that's how entry would work.
Okay. And so
with instructions and an email and the rest of it.
All right. So the next renter coming in would get their own code.
It's a totally separate
So there'd be
code.
no way that a previous renter could gain
Correct.
access.
Correct.
Okay. And in the front, and I'm sorry, Mayor, this is another question. I just want to know that the entrance in, the fence kind of stops. There's no gate there. Is that ever going to be gated, or will that entrance always be open?
We're not planning to put a gate there.
Okay.
It would change our traffic study, and so for the ingress, egress, we're just going to leave it open.
Okay. And this is probably more for George, because I think you said it. I haven't heard it tonight, but I did hear it at LPA, the word catalyst. And so what is meant by that word, and what do we envision happening? What's the future of that area look like, or anticipating?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. So I think when we're using the term catalyst in this situation, you've got your existing development pattern out there right now, circa 1970. Pizza, I think you mentioned it, Pizza Hut. There's the building that we used to sit in before we moved to City Hall. All of those have been contemplated to move to a more form-based kind of development pattern. So what this is really doing is it's really the first one in the door. So it's kind of setting the standard for how we will start looking at compatibility, particularly with respect to mass, height, and architecture, as those surrounding properties come into play as they redevelop their sites as well. So it's kind of a catalyst, meaning kind of like the first one out of the box. And what we're looking at is a maximum of 2 stories. We're looking at nice architecture. We're going to make sure that that precedent then takes place throughout that particular area. We're not looking at use so much, though. So it's more about the form of the structure versus the actual use, because as you mentioned before, FXM offers a myriad of uses. So the whole idea is to make sure that the architecture fits and that we're creating a corridor in there that's walkable and friendly, and basically an inviting area.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Okay, anyone else?
Just one more quick question. Did I hear a commitment for video cameras?
You did.
Thank you.
Good, I like that. Way to go. I think it's a great idea for you guys anyway.
Absolutely.
Anyone on this side? Okay. All right, so let's see. So we've done that, and I'm going to ask if anyone in the public wishes to come forward to speak on this issue. And it will be name, address, and 3 minutes time.
It would be disappointing to them if I didn't come up. I see the whole gang. My name's Thomas Michaels, 1370 Pinehurst Road, Dunedin, Florida, right next door. If you look up there on which you can see in front of you where this proposal is, to the left, where all the trees are, that's where my law office is. I'm the invisible attorney in Dunedin for 30 to 35 years. I don't think I've met any of you so far, but this gets me out. Naturally, I'm objecting to this proposal the way it is. What we're doing is we're shoehorning in a large proposal into 1 acre that's going to transform or change the neighborhood. Right now we have single-family homes, duplexes, some businesses, my business right next door. It's quiet. I've been here my whole life, so I've seen, not Dunedin, but Pinellas County. I've seen the county change and grow, and I know that's going to happen, but this is not the appropriate site for it. As to the development, short-term rentals, that just means more and more people coming and going, in and out, putting aside whatever your facts and figures say. We have 21 units, 2 bedrooms per unit. So I'm figuring at least 4 people in there, maybe more in the family room. How many cars? Parking is hopefully insufficient. I've heard that there's maybe 3 or 4, 5 max guest spots besides what's allotted in there. I have 3 minutes, so I'm going to move right along. From my office, it's set back 40 feet from the road. You are bringing to everyone's attention how close to the road it is. When you leave my office, you can't see north. Cars coming down. I have elderly clients. They're going to get hit trying to leave my office. I asked for a reduction in the fence, and that was mentioned as a possibility when I went to the architectural review meeting. They brought it up. That's the last I heard of it. I don't know how many of you have actually been out here or seen this, but there's been really no impact look from my building looking north. Everything looks really beautiful this way and looking south, okay? And so I would suggest you come out and take a look at it. I don't want to violate your sunshine law or anything, and you all are, welcome to come with me. But I gave a laundry list of the garbage is up front, not in the back. They have an oak tree that's 90% of it is over my building. With this construction, that's going to possibly topple And I could go on and on and on for another 2 minutes, which you're not going to allow me. So we do object to it, okay?
Thank you.
Any questions from anybody?
Appreciate your input, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Okay, anyone else in the audience wish to come forward to speak on this issue? Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing, close public comment. So on a couple of those issues,
Mayor, I just wanted to say very quickly, did you want to reference the fact that any e-comments we received on the 18th?
I meant to do that, yes, we did. I know that both last time, and I think this time, but definitely last time, we got an e-comment or two on this. Michelle, do you know exactly what we got?
To the best of my knowledge, we received one
The
e-comment.
one,
from
okay, and I think it was from
December
Mr.
18th.
Reynolds, so.
Correct.
Okay, so just wanted to put note, I think everybody got that, and so, okay, put that on the record. Okay, a couple of things, the line of sight issue from Mr. Michael's place. Have you looked at that? Do you have any concerns about that?
We have, Mayor, and we've confirmed the site visibility triangle is appropriate. And I do believe the applicants have even offered to even move that wall back a little bit if that would be helpful. So I don't want to speak for the applicants, but I think that was part of something that they articulated at the
And
LPA.
that site distance triangle is shown on the civil drawings, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say that again?
The site distance triangle is shown on the civil drawings as well.
All right. I think we're good, Walter. Okay, and how about the garbage? And I know there was a lot of discussion about where the garbage should go, and so, Walter, it is Walter, right? If you want to come up, and either one, staff or you. Okay, Jonathan.
Hi. So the garbage, that was an area of contention. We originally had it further closer to Mr. Michael's property originally, and we have moved it away from his property as far as we possibly could, while still trying to meet the city's request that they weren't going to drive their truck down into the site. It just wasn't going to happen. We couldn't give them enough turnaround to do so. And so per meeting with everybody, that was the suggested location. And they didn't want it any further closer to the intersection because that would have jammed up the intersection. So that's where it landed, unfortunately.
I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do it. Are they going to be on the street doing it? Where's it going to get pushed to, and where's the garbage truck going to be?
So I think that door, so you see the little door, the gate in front and the wall there? So they would just pull up and then, I don't know if they walk them to the curb. I got
They
Bill's
usually
note
push
here.
them out. They
Let me
open the
see.
gate and they push them out.
They do, but if you push it out, aren't you, then the garbage truck's in the road?
They push it out the front end loader and they just pick it up.
Yeah, it
They're
would,
not.
Oh, I
pushing it all
got
the way
you.
out, Right.
Yeah,
Right.
okay,
Yes,
I got
they
you.
will.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Solid Waste did say, Mayor, in their comments that they would not be able to get into the development site, that the city's automated collection system to retrieve individual refuse containers to be able to do it safely within the site, so they need it towards the perimeter of the site. So that was I think Bill's recommendation for the location.
And there, it will not cause an impediment to the roadway?
That's my understanding, yes, Mayor, from Solid Waste, yep.
Okay, all right, well, I wasn't really clear on the tree issue, but did you understand the comments that Mr. Michaels had about the tree?
I've been in close contact with Mr. Michaels for
Sure.
quite a while. I really do enjoy his company. So we've done what we could to accommodate on multiple levels from the traffic. We didn't talk about moving the wall back. What we talked about is lowering the wall, which is what we would love to do. We'd love to make it a 4-foot wall. That's what, it gives more breadth to the community, but the form-based code is a little unclear on what it means in the front to be that 2 foot from there. I think if we could get clarity from the city that we could lower the wall, it would then satisfy Mr.
Walter, you
Michaels.
were hoping to come up to say that, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, I'll let George do it. We're not going to get in the middle of that.
Yeah, so-
George is giving me the look that this has been there, done
Just
that.
so the commission knows, so the reason for the wall basically is the FXM requires an 80% frontage build out. So that's why they have to have something, it's akin to the J Hotel, if you will. We had to have, remember how they did that little wall to complete that 80% build out? So that's the reason for the wall to begin with.
265 Causeway was the same way.
FXM does say minimum of 6, right? You know, if we want to do something different than that, we'll talk to them.
Yeah, I just want it to look good, so. I mean, obviously, we have to follow our own code, though.
We've been trying to accommodate Mr. Michaels every way we can. You were asking about the tree.
Yep.
There's a tree that's on.
This is a different tree than the tree that was saved, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is a less protected tree. Although we didn't really have to survey it because I don't believe, from my arborist, that was not on our property. The tree that was on the line, the property line that overhangs his building. It's on your property. Correct. The base is on our property. Correct. Yes. But we're talking about the tree on the property line. It's an off-site tree. If it's an off-site tree. So we brought the arborist today, maybe he can help us, but if the tree Mr. Michaels would really like that tree removed.
Well, yeah, it's not that easy.
If it's not on our property, then we won't be removing it. If it is on our property, we plan to remove it. The tree we're saving is this grand oak. So,
Okay. Well, that's fine. If it's not a clear issue, I'm going to trust staff's going to handle that.
Absolutely, Mayor.
These
Our
are-
city arborist will be
Right.
involved with it.
I think we've covered the big issues that Mr. Michaels brought up. I mean, understanding that you don't agree with the size of it, so. Okay, so I will, I'm going to close the public hearing unless anybody up here has anything. And I'm going to ask for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, I have a second, and we'll go to commission comments. And I will start with the maker of the motion, Commissioner Sandbergen.
You know, Walter, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, a guy just let me have it about how much he disliked this project. And I'm not going to salt and pepper it, but he told me it was just the worst possible scenario. And today when I was walking up those stairs in City Hall, another resident called me and told me how great you were and how proud they were of what you're bringing to Dunedin. I tell you, you were smooth sailing with me, but you really is. I'm concerned about this being sold off and becoming a condo. When you talked about, you owning it, 21 units, but then all of a sudden we started talking about investors buying, and I'm in one of those. And we're all investors in it. It went from one association to 14 units, 14 individual unit owners. And to me, that becomes a condo. It's no longer a Airbnb rental program. And as much as I love what you're bringing to Dunedin, I'm a firm believer in small business in Dunedin, and I know that those merchants up there, you're bringing a lot to town. And I wish I hadn't heard, and I cannot unhear what I heard. And I'm not sure. That's, I appreciate and I appreciate everything you're doing to town here, but man, it really changed my. No, it's
No,
this is just my comment. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, let's clarify this right now, though.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. And George, can this become a condo?
So
Without any intervention from us, can this become a condo?
not without coming back through the process.
And if they came back to us, what would be involved?
So they would be looking at, it would depend on what they came back to us with. It would obviously go back, all the way back through the design review process. So if it was a mix of non-residential and residential, we'd have to see what that mix was, whether it meets the density, we'd still be looking at the same height and architectural requirements. But it's a tough question to answer, Mayor, because it just depends what they bring it back as. They could certainly mix
No, I'm
it.
saying they built it. I guess they could make a change before they build. No, they can't make a change before they build it, right?
No, this
Right.
is what they're getting approval for.
Right,
So
right.
this is what they need to build. If there's any change in the future, they have to come back and modify this design review.
And it would still need to be a mixed use. So how would they even do that?
It would depend on the developer. I mean, we'd have to see what they came up with and see if it was even possible. So, again, there has to be a non-commercial base first, which short-term rentals are. But as soon as you inject residential, that's a secondary use. So it has to be less than 50% of whatever that project site is. So they could come back in 10 years and say, I want to do half short-term rentals and half condos. But we would have to go back through the design review process and bring that back to you to show you that this is something that they can or can't do within the provisions of the code.
And if we just didn't like it, could we say no legally?
I mean, I would probably defer to the city attorney on that, just because if you're meeting code.
Jen?
So if you've come in and there's applicable criteria within the code and you meet the code, then, and you demonstrate proper evidence of that, then it's approval or approval with conditions.
So the answer is, if they meet this 50% condo, 50%, I know we're going down a rabbit hole here, but
Right.
I've been around 40 years, I've seen every rabbit hole known. Hold on. So if they could do the half condo, half mixed use somehow.
And meet all the code criteria, then it could be approved. Am I not
Would it
understanding your
have to be
question?
approved?
If they meet the criteria of the code, yeah.
Probably, yes. Okay.
Yeah, if there's a concern, it may be approved with conditions, but to address that concern. But generally, when an application comes in, if they can meet all of the criteria and they can adequately demonstrate that to you through evidence, then it's approved.
I mean, let me ask a question. Could we say, put something in documents right now that say this can never be a condominium?
That's a form of ownership.
I'm just asking.
So, but it's.
I'm just trying to make everybody comfortable.
Right. So let me put it to you, let me say it this way. You could certainly have a condition, and I don't think you need it, but you could have a condition that if it was to be used as residential, obviously it has to come back before you.
Which it already is true,
Right. But as a condo is only a form of ownership. It doesn't necessarily mean that the use is going to be residential.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. It's a fair comment.
I would agree with that statement. Kyle Benda for Benda Law. And just to try and put it simply, what you're approving is what's been presented. You're approving one ownership with 21 units as a vacation rental. If that changes, like any property can always be rezoned, but that still would have to come back to this commission. So you would have that control. It can't just be turned into a condo. And when I think you say condo, I think you mean a residential use. And as staff was saying, if you're changing the use of the property to residential, you've got to either meet the requirements of the code through the design review process, or you would have to essentially rezone the property to be residential. And then that follows the same procedures that we're here today, where they've got the application has to be made, there has to be shown consistency with the comprehensive plan through the use of evidence. And then if it doesn't meet those requirements, or there's evidence that residential use is inappropriate or incompatible, then this commission could theoretically in the future deny that, right? But it would still be this same use that you're approving. So I think the speculation maybe is
Yeah, and I hate to speculate, but you know what, you know what I picked up on. It was, I heard it, I can't unhear it.
But I'm just saying legally, at least in my opinion, and I hope the city attorney would agree, that can't happen without your approval. No one can, kind of backdoor this in. I think it would still have to go through the design review process or a formal rezoning.
Okay, and I think Rob had a quick follow-up, and then we'll get back to comments.
Just related to that, I just need to be clear of the lines of communication. So if I understand correctly what you were saying, and I'll just paraphrase that, is, okay, 21 units, the owner could sell off, let's just say 10 of those units and still be within, and let's just say that, let's just say all 10 are essentially intended to be residential. That, to me, if I understand this correctly, that does not require the owner to come back and rezone the.
No, they would have to come back.
They would.
Because you're changing the use. You're now going to residential.
But it's less than 50%.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
What they've shown to you today and what they're asking for is approval for 21 non-commercial short-term rentals.
Okay.
Any deviation from that would require them to come back.
Any deviation?
Even if
Okay.
it's one residential unit.
Okay, all right, that answers my question.
Yeah, it's the deviation in use that triggers the comeback. So going from commercial to residential.
Yeah, gotcha. Good. I think it was good to get that aired out. I do. I really do. I appreciate it. So anyway, so you're done with your comments, Commissioner Sandbergen, or?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. And so the seconder of the motion was Commissioner Dugard.
Today, we have an empty lot, a vacant lot. I look at the use of this lot in the world of possibilities, and I see this among the better possibilities. Of course, it'd be nice for the community around there to be looking at maybe only a density of much less than this, but we're into a zoning situation that really doesn't allow residential right now, so we don't have residential opportunities for this lot. As far as I'm concerned, this looks like a very good direction to go in, and I'm in support.
Okay, Commissioner Gao, final comments.
Thank you, Mayor. We just recently had a conversation up here about housing and affordable housing and the flats on Main and how our affordable housing situation is in crisis, not just in Dunedin, not just in Pinellas County or Florida, but throughout the nation or many parts of it. And it's not going to take projects like the flats on Main to fix that. We have to consider all types of housing, ADUs, mixed use, duplexes, quadplexes, apartments, a true crisis in affordable housing. And we have an opportunity with this lot, and we are choosing, the developers are choosing not to do that. If we had mixed-use development and apartments on top, we could do that. If we had transit-oriented development, we could do that. I look at this property, and they have to put up a fence in order to get the project done. The only reason that fence is there is to max out 80%, or it doesn't work. So now it's just kind of cosmetic. They're checking a box, is what they're doing. And I'm going to get it wrong again, George, and my apologies, FXM, right? Did I get it right? Look at me go. 2 feet setback, right? We talked about the purpose of that, right? And it's because it belongs in urban areas to where you have welcoming access, right? And like a mixed use would be perfect, right? You have a storefront that is right there off the sidewalk. It would invite people in. There's nothing about this project that invites people in. You're coming to this place as a destination from Iowa, Kansas, New York, Canada, wherever you're coming from, to this location. But if you look at the community around this project, where are they coming to? It's not our downtown. From a visitor standpoint, it's almost the middle of nowhere. Ooh, I can go order pizza at Domino's. I can go to Pinehurst Pub. I can go to the convenience store across the street and get my hair cut at the hair salon that's right next door. But other than that, zero, zip, zilch, nada. There's nothing to do in that area. Nothing to do other than get back in your car and go downtown. And we just had a conversation about business survey, and the amount of traffic and parking and issues, we just got all kinds of problems because we insist on car-oriented projects. And we don't do anything to solve a parking situation other than build a parking garage. And so I have strong issues. I think that this is a good project, absolutely the wrong location. It's a bad location. It does not add any value to our community in this location. Affordable housing, we got a high school just down the street. We got teachers that are looking for a place to live. Can't live there. What an opportunity lost. There, the number of kids that they move out of their homes, but they can't afford an apartment in Dunedin, can't afford to live here, so they have to go somewhere else. What an opportunity. So I'm on the real struggle bus with this location. And this is my only opportunity because, right, it checks all the boxes. So honestly, I have to vote yes on this. But I do not like this, and it does not add positive value to this. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So I've driven over there several times to look at the lot as it is right now and look at just kind of the amenities in that area. And there was a couple things that really kind of resonated with me, and it was the definition of catalyst and the fact that George's presentation with regards to the form, fit, function of the surrounding properties and maintaining those in a consistent type style. And this may be just my opinion, and there was another word that was used too, revitalization. And the fact that what this property is doing is it's revitalizing a vacant lot that essentially is in desperate need of revitalization. And then, I start thinking, I probably have a little bit more of a positive perspective on this, but I start looking at the surrounding area, and I think, okay, this is the thought. So catalyst and revitalization. Now, I see a potential here where this property, with providing lodging for tourists, people out of town, people that are going to spend money, I view this as a potential economic engine for that area. I really do think that area there is also in desperate need of revitalization. So I see an opportunity. And I see also the fact that this allows us to bring more visitors into Dunedin, which is also our economic engine. So my viewpoint, I'm looking at this more positively on the impact. I am in favor of it, and those are my comments.
Well, I am, excuse me, I'm in favor of it as well. I think that, I understand, Commissioner Gow, what you're saying. We need housing every place we can get it. But I also know that we are one of the lucky communities that can really restrict vacation rental. And this is a place where it's allowed. I think it's a well-done 21 units. I think it clearly could be a catalyst. I swear if I have to look one more time at that, what would it be to the north of it, that plaza that could use some big-time revitalization. I think that, again, this can be a catalyst. So, and we've got somebody willing to invest in it, try to make something of it. So I'm in favor of it. Other than that, let's see. I guess that's all my comments. So let's go to roll call vote.
Vice Mayor Walker.
Aye.
Commissioner Gow.
Aye.
Commissioner Dugard.
Aye.
Commissioner Sandbergen.
Aye.
And Mayor Franey.
Aye, and that motion passes unanimous. And I believe the second reading is, when is the
February
second?
5th.
February 5th?
February 5th.
February 5th? Okay, good. February 5th. Okay, thank you all. Appreciate your assistance on that. Okay, we're going to go to the proposed agenda for the January 22nd, 2026 commission meeting. I've got one. It's not, I'm back under control now. I struggled the most, sorry.
Back under
When you were
control.
talking, I almost lost it. But anyway. Okay, proposed agenda for January 22nd, 2026, commission meeting. Michelle, what are the changes here? You want to go over them?
Sure, no problem, Mayor. Just minor title changes for the proposed agenda for January 22nd. Action item 3B now reads Fiscal Year 2026 City of Dunedin Vehicle Replacement Plan, vehicle and equipment purchases of 23 assets for a total expenditure of $1,788,225.53. Also, title change of action item 3D now reads, award a multi-year continuing services contract of bid number 252542, stormwater and sanitary sewer cured in place pipelining contract to Vortex Services LLC of Riverview, Florida.
Okay, with those changes being made, are there any other additions or changes or anything from the commission or anyone else? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the January 22nd agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Arden Dow. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Okay, we're going to go to informational items, commission discussion and comments. I will start with Vice Mayor.
No comments, Mayor.
Oh, Vice Mayor.
Oh.
Vice Mayor.
Isn't that
Vice
funny?
Mayor.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
Gotta love it.
That is.
We can start with him so he doesn't change his mind, though.
You know, but here's
Are
the
you
deal.
speaking for Rob?
I didn't even react. It was like, my apologies. That's all right. Vice Mayor.
No, it's okay, Jeff. We're doing info items right now.
Informational item.
Yeah.
Informational item.
Commission discussion and comments.
Yeah, okay, so earlier today, I sent out a summary report from the PSTA state lobbyist with regards to the current status of the property tax bills. And, you know, for the most part, I think we're pretty well up to date based on our discussion at I think it was the workshop. However, I do believe this is such a dynamic and moving environment. The good news is that I have a relationship with the lobbyists, so the plan will be to continue getting those summary reports. But I put Nicole on that email in the hopes that maybe the Southern group can provide that same sort of report to us.
Yes.
Because I thought it was a pretty good synopsis of where things stood with the House bills. So that part. The second thing, so this all came out of the PSTA Legislative Committee meeting that I'm a member of that committee. The second thing, which was a little more concerning, was the fact that the federal lobbyist was talking about the transportation infrastructure appropriation and impact to discussions. And the good news is they're just discussions right now, but it relates to FEMA and how the FEMA reimbursement structure works. Because right now, my understanding is 75% paid by FEMA, 25% paid by the municipality, right? Apparently, at least the discussions and the possible rhetoric here is basically flip-flopping that. 25% FEMA, 75% municipalities. Now, the only, and I don't think there's any reason at this point to be concerned, with the exception of the fact that this discussion is happening. However, this is kind of underscoring that I think, you know, there are instances where we could use federal lobbying support. And, you know, maybe it's not just Dunedin, but maybe it's a collaboration of multiple municipalities so that, you know, Dunedin's not bearing the brunt of that bill directly. But I bring that up because, representation on this is also very critical to our budget. So those, and really, the point here is it's just to provide situational awareness on, various aspects of this. So that's my input. Commissioner Gao.
No comments other than to comment on your comments. And it's the irony of discussing taking away property taxes, but then also want to increase our expenses by taking on the FEMA role is insanity. It was good. It was good. So I just.
You're gone 3 minutes. We
I know. What did you say about FEMA? Can I ask?
Yeah, I know. So, I sit on the legislative committee for PSTA, and we had our meeting yesterday, and got reports from their state lobbyist and their federal lobbyist. And the one thing that's associated with the transportation infrastructure appropriation is that, and I think we've always kind of talked a little bit about our concern with regards to how FEMA might potentially get restructured under this current administration. And apparently, and again, this is not really to the point where we need to be terribly alarmed, but we really do need to be aware of this. And the fact is that, right now, FEMA pays 75% of storm damage, municipality pays 25%. There is discussions, and this came from the federal lobbyist, that basically that there has been suggestion of flip-flopping that.
Holy smoke.
No, Rob, but that flip-flopping is that, I know that from the federal level, they want to push a lot of that federal money down to the state. The state should be dealing with it. Is it flip-flopping at the municipality, or is it between the federal government and the state government?
Well, there was no mention of the state involvement of it all. So again, there's a gray area here. And what I want to do is just relay this discussion, because to me, it was like, wow. I mean, that's something that.
Well, if I may, the state is involved in a portion of that reimbursement. So, and yeah, 12.5%, 12.5% state, 12.5% municipality, and 75% FEMA. So, we can certainly look into it. I hadn't heard anything about it, and I would think that any lobbying would be the League of Cities for sure.
Yeah, well.
So.
That's just physically impossible. We
I
just
know.
couldn't do it.
No,
No municipality could.
No, I know. That's why and this is why I'm suggesting maybe we figure out a way to get federal representation. And I'm not sure that it probably falls in the category of, we don't have enough issues of that to make this a real thing, but I think it's worth keeping our eye on. That's all.
Sure.
That would be my.
Jennifer, is there any way that we can get any data on the amount of money that FEMA has spent in our community? The past number of years, is that available?
Yeah, we can.
So that we have an idea of what kind of dollar amount?
Sure.
And maybe also, and this may be a future update for workshop, or, we'll just call it workshop. If we could get essentially an accounting of what we have received from FEMA up to this point and match it to the actual reimbursable.
Right, what we have received, but also as a community.
Yeah.
What do the residents receive? Because if that's what it is.
Yeah.
If the thought is that our residents would then come to us.
Yeah.
It might be harder with the residents. I mean, we would be fairly easy. The city of Dunedin would be fairly easy, but I'd have to look at what information we have as far as the residents go. And it would be the county through their CDBG, and we didn't get any of that. So I would really have to dig into that.
Residents that would be good to have, but I think for our purposes, I think I'm looking just at the impacts to our budget.
We did have a conference call with FEMA, and they did talk about, under the disaster recovery, who had been awarded grants in Dunedin. I can dig that up, and we can find out what we can for you.
So, have we gone any further with comments, final comments, or just,
Well, I turned
or
it
yours
over-
was enough?
I turned it
or-
over to Commissioner Gow. Yeah.
So Commissioner Gao, then I'll go back to Commissioner
Yeah,
Stamberger.
under Vice Mayor, I didn't have any comments, but as a commissioner now, I got heaps. No, ma'am, I got,
Okay, Commissioner Stamberger?
Nothing other than a really productive meeting today with Tampa Bay Regional. I actually am very excited to have the opportunity to represent Dunedin. Great organization, great people, and I really can't wait to learn what all's available. And really enjoyed the meeting and looking forward to becoming part of that. That's all. Thank you.
You're going to enjoy it.
good for you.
You'll enjoy it, and you'll enjoy the people you meet, too, so it's great. I mean, I'm not really going to miss them, but that's why I'll be excited to see them in May at the, yeah, it was fun and productive. Commissioner DeGard?
Would like to praise the staff for the presentation on workshop Tuesday relative to the property tax issue. I have a feeling we're going to need one of those a month for a while because this thing is such a fluid set of circumstances. But I thought the staff took a tough dynamic and put it out there in front of us pretty well. And we're going to lean on that as well as our lobbyists. And it's going to drive what we do in Tallahassee toward the end of the month. But I was unsettled after that. And the reason I was unsettled was I suddenly came to the conclusion that to err is human, but to really foul up, you need a state legislature. They are proposing reduction of revenue without a corresponding plan. There is just no corresponding plan. If they pass that, it's kind of the Mo Curley
They would just come back next year to fix it.
Watch that use of Moe and Curly, though.
But, you know, it's been unsettling for the last 2 days, just thinking about that kind of walking off a pier and not knowing if there's water below you or not. Thank you, Mayor.
It's funny, I thought a little bit about, okay, like what would Dunedin be like if we just had the community center? We didn't have the Hale Center, we didn't have MLK Center, you know, we didn't have, what other, I don't know, minimal special events, you know? I mean, you know, let alone just supporting, you know, our public safety stuff. But I mean, yeah, it's, I can't even go there. So we'll wait and see, and hopefully rational minds will be in the Senate, and that is my hope. Obviously, that is my hope. So a couple things. Appreciate, again, Commissioner Sandberg stepping up to take Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council, and I know he's going to do an amazing job. I did say there was one thing I never did while I was there, and it was get us to do a resolution for the, I think it's the RAP, Regional Resiliency Action Plan. And so I hope you'll, and no pressure, because I didn't do it, but Natalie's right there to help you do it, so it would be an easy win, but I didn't do it, so no pressure at all. But if you can do it, you'll be my hero. And then, obviously, we're back in the stride of the year. I don't think I ever really got to tell you all, you know, as the end of last year, the beginning of this year, you know, how much I value our comradeship, our colleagueship. We have a huge year of a lot of work to do. And I'm just glad I'm going to be doing it with you guys. I really am. And we've got great staff as well. So I think that we do. We'll have some big challenges, but we'll do it together. And we're a good team. Also, just want to say it was so nice to be back in my home for the holidays. Because, of course, we were out of it for out of our house for 10 months. And we still have it decorated for the holidays because my brother's coming. And I want him to see not just the house, but, you know, decorated for the holidays. So that's pretty exciting. But I also, as I say that, There's a lot of people on my street that are still rebuilding, haven't even started to rebuild, haven't sold, still have the house, a house that they've lifted, but nothing else done to it. So there's a lot of people in our community still on that part of town that got flooded that are still struggling and still getting back to some normalcy. So just like a marina, it takes time, it'll get there, but it feels really good for me, but still aware that some people aren't there yet. So, and I will, the other thing I was going to say, because I did listen to LPA this afternoon, that, wow, it would be nice to deal with our microphones still, because I can't tell you how many times during LPA, if anybody else watched the LPA meeting on this project, how many times people started talking without a microphone on, and when you're watching it on TV, you hear nothing. You cannot hear what they say. So I don't know what we need to do, because the whole thing of, hey, your mic's off, is just not, in a technological world, a good solution, because there's just gaps. So I ask you to figure out what we can do with that. Okay, I guess we go to City Clerk's update.
Nothing new to report, Mayor.
Great. Excuse me, sorry.
City Manager's update.
I was fine with my throat until this one started talking about the affordable housing again. I think I did a big gulp, and then that was it, it did it. Okay, City Manager update.
Thank you very much for allowing me some time with my family. I actually missed the December 18th meeting and then the meeting on Tuesday. So it's very, very nice to be back, and I'm very grateful to Jorge Quintas for acting city manager. He did a great job. He didn't sell the city. So apparently I came back and all of staff is still here, which is good. But no, I'm very grateful for that time with my family. Thank you.
Great. City Attorney update.
No update.
I do want to thank the Vice Mayor because he stood in my stead, because I was literally out of the country on a cruise, but so he still was out of the country. And so for 4 days, he stood in my stead. And I know you did a great job, and nothing bad happened, everything good happened, right?
Didn't sell the city.
And didn't sell the city.
Didn't sell the city, and I have to say, it was expertly run.
Well stated. And on that note, the meeting is adjourned, and we're going to celebrate Commissioner Gao's birthday in the back. Anybody who wants to, can come join us. Meeting adjourned.